like a blessing. Oh, I wasn't waiting for you, wasn't waiting for you. Yeah, I was just wasting all my time living without you, time living without you. Yeah, like a rocket on a planet, that's how I feel. You're so gorgeous and you know it, you can't be real. confuse me, but in the best ways. You make my day. Baby, keep loving, keep loving me just like you do it, like you do it, like you hiss don't lift, so we keep growing just like we do it, like you do it, like you. But we can go through, 'cause I want it like you want it too. Don't get insecure, baby, I like you sure, baby, 'cause that's the only way to build something amazing. And there's gonna be some bad wishes from people that don't really understand the feeling that we have. There's gonna be some bad wishes from people that don't really understand this what we have. Like you do it, like you do it, like you hiss don't lift, so we keep growing just like we do it, like you do it, like you. Some bad wishes from people that don't really understand the feeling that we have. There's gonna be some bad wishes from people that don't really understand it that we have. Oh, baby, keep loving, keep loving me just like you do it, like you do it, like you hiss don't lift, so we keep growing just like we do it, like you do it, like you.
Hello. Oh, camera's gone. No, there we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 5 of the LTS Premade League. It is your host, your streamer, your caster extraordinaire, Gurf, here with you to bring you all that lovely action, but I can't do it alone. Tonight, I'm joined always by the lovely, and brainchild of the LTS Friday nights. Same Paige, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing pro well, boss. Doing pro well. Was a little bit of a sleepyhead last time, but I'm up, wide awake, and ready to go for today. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm excited for a couple of games at least. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll get to see 3. But it is MAAD City against GLV Royal tonight. So in a best of 3 series, we'll get to see these two teams duke it out. Currently, MAAD City at 3-1, GLV at 1-3. So a win here, especially the fact that we're at that halfway point of the split, would be super great here for GLV. But we've been watching a lot of MAAD these past couple weeks, and they are showing up massive for these early games.
Definitely, Matt has been really putting in the performance here tonight. In every streaming they've ever been on, they've been really busting their ass, getting the stream quality up and the casters hype, and I believe that they will do it for us again today.
And I believe we're actually ready for the draft. Just a reminder to players that we are going to be doing predictions, so make sure to check in on your tokens with command tokens. Before we get these games going, those will be open once players have locked in their comps into the client. But we're not going to make these teams wait any longer. Let's flip it on over to the draft and see what these guys got to bring out for game number 1.
So coming from last time, it was Tempo versus MAAD City, correct?
Yes, we got to see Tempo against MAAD last week. It was MAAD that took it in the straight 2. So they have been showing up pretty big here on these games. Of course, you know, looking up towards that top laner, Axum. He was showing up pretty massive on that Gnar in game number 1, going 10, 6, and 12. So I think we'll probably see a few top bans go towards this player. He's been pretty massive. I mean, even looking at GLV too, that's a big top lane matchup tonight. Axum versus Akira Hu. Both of these players do not like to share. Let's just say it that way. They do not like to share resources. They do not like to share space in the lane, and they will fight toe and toe every single time for it. So I'm excited to see these two top laners face off and really prove themselves here in a best of 3. But draft started, so let's see what the targets are going to be here in this first round of bans.
I mean, they share a couple of champions that we're probably going to be contesting over or straight banned out. I expect either a Seraphine ban onto the red side or even a Karma ban as well, especially that they both share it. They could also just let it go, especially that both MAAD City support and GLV's top laner and support share those two champions. Nevertheless, there probably is going to be, like you said, a couple of, maybe, presumably, some top billion bans, like you said, the Gnar. Gnar is very good when he's unpunished from the top lane, and if he has a nice laning phase, he will be able to do his thing. But besides that, talking from the last game in general, while we're sitting there enjoying the 60 seconds and counting, what is some interesting plays you've seen coming from either side?
Well, honestly, it's just the whole style of MAAD City that we see is just the early aggression, going for these turret plates. In their first couple of weeks there that we got to see them on stream, they were able to take pretty much every single plate in their series against. Oh, we're gonna have to go back because that was week 1 of the LTS here. So I got my notes here. We're gonna go back. It was against for Kobe at the time. So I mean, it just shows how much they like to get that early advantage, get that early snowball rolling. So I expect to see some picks that really can flex that early game strength here. So, you know, maybe even something like a Pantheon. Though
they didn't ban the Seraphine.
Oh wow. No. Oh no, that's just
I don't know about you, about my PentaQ lagging a little bit there, but
they're firing up. Paige, can you still hear me there?
Yeah, good.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
He's a little bit lagging right now, which is quite unfortunate. But
Oh
yeah,
my
they like everything fired at once for me.
Yeah, it's maybe a little ISP issues going on, but I feel you on that. But yeah, you're totally right. Seraphine, which is what we've seen banned out pretty much every single game. The ban rate against her is pretty insane, but it does squeak its way through. So not sure if that's going to Alcantos or Ares quite yet, but GLV Royal going to respond with a Senna and a Lilia.
Now those are some I presume some very late game or they're going to look for a lot more late game. This Lily can go for the Moonstaff build as you can see before in some type of pro play, but you can also coming from the I think it was the TSM versus the MIT game you've seen it in the LCS, but also you can see the full damage with the Leandri Zanyas where they want to go in, get that 5-minute sleep and kind of set themselves up. Just running through the bans real quickly, they did ban out the Gnar and they double banned the Mad City's jungler of Javi. What do you feel about Javi? In my opinion, he's been performing fantastic and really setting up ganks.
Yeah, Javi is an absolute mad lad, like not afraid to go in and make the big plays that are needed as that big role in the jungle. So we've seen him on the Skarta before. It just, again, it's like essentially bringing a free kill on over to his team, which just helps them roll so much once that Skarta hits a 6. So definitely good that GLV is considering Javi in this list of bans. But we see the Camille and the Jhin come out for Mad City.
Now, I don't know if Seraphine can be flexed into the mid lane role there, so we're using it as a double or even triple flex for Mad City, but nevertheless, I will presume this is going to be a Jhin Seraphine bot lane locked in, as they finally lock in the Volibear.
I have just a theory here. Based on this draft that, you know, they've shown the Jhin and not taking a mid pick there in the B3, ideally, you'd love to get yourself a Galio into this comp for Mad City. But showing that would confirm the fact that it's not going to be Seraphine mid, so gonna hold out. But you know, with the Jhin, the amount of poke that Seraphine and Jhin come and bring together to a lane is a little ridiculous, which is why GLV Royal picks up on that and they're like, listen, the bin pick's not through yet, we might as well get rid of that Galio.
Agreed, and I'm thinking about a support, maybe a counter pick support matchup in the bot lane. They can continue with the poke and maybe go for something like a Karma if they want to go for more of the aggressive side, if they focus for Lilia more on the bot side. Volibear's definitely going to the top lane matchup for his Camille, which is a little bit of a stringent matchup. I think Akira may have a little bit of a hard time, but I don't quite understand this matchup to its full potential. But all I can see is this Camille just walking forward and just doing a true damage nuke every single time he goes in. But I believe Volibear wins extended trades, especially with that bite. It's been inside the early game.
I would say that's probably going to be the case as well, too. Usually we see, I mean, unless Camille gets really, really rolling, we still haven't seen what Javi's going to be picking up in the jungle quite yet, which is why we see the J4 banned out.
Yeah.
But Javi has that potential to get any of his laners really rolling, and we usually see this attention being mainly focused up into the top lane for Axum, so that's why hiding this top pick right now for Mad City is top priority, so... Maybe they'll see. Actually, wait, what do I want to talk about? They have a Camille. Where am I at right now?
Yeah.
Hiding the jungle pick. Hiding the jungle pick right now. That's why.
You definitely, and I presume the Seraphine's going to the bot lane, but I mean, you can always make the excuse of the Seraphine getting flexed in the mid lane here if GLV wants to be careful, but they did ban out a support or mid laner flex for the Galio and the J4, so they couldn't go for those heavy Camille setups with their backline with Seraphine. But they do pick up the Orianna here. I'm a little confused of how Orianna's going to be able to enable her frontline here. The only frontline they really have is the Volibear, which he can go in with his flash and getting up and sending up a target and all that sorts. But there isn't really any quick engage that they have, like something like a Jarvan would accomplish, or a Galio with Camille and stuff like that. Do you think they pick up the Orianna pick was to make sure that Mad City doesn't get it?
I think it's more of just a safe pick, not knowing what Mad City's going to go for as their mid. So just to go for that is just something saying, you know what, we can pick up the Orianna. We know it's going to be useful in really a multitude of situations here for our team comp that we're putting together. So because we don't know for sure what the mid pick is, and because it's looking potentially like that Seraphine support, let's just pick something that's safe here and can hold its lane. However, with the Zac picked up by MAAD City, that makes things a little bit harder. You're going to have to keep those shockwaves ready to go and time them very, very perfectly. Probably a couple sombreros going to be coming out from One-Eyed Owl this game.
And also, you can see the teams already aligning to one thing or another, especially showing the Senna very early with the Lilia. Victor is going to be a Seraphine bot lane, but I would assume that the MAAD City wants to go in, especially that they have Camille, Seraphine ult as the encore. They have Curtain Call to really set up the stage and get those champions right on top of the carries of the backline with the Senna and the Orianna, while Glaive Violet wants to step backwards. I presume this actually, and I don't know how you feel about this, Curve, but I think this is going to be a fantastic Moonstaff Lilia game if he does elect to it. Especially how much control, and Lily doesn't want to be the initiation. It would be a really nice setup for the Lilia to be a little bit more control, throw a bunch of bowling balls, and try to protect the Orianna and the Senna from getting collapsed on from the Zac, from the Camille, and maybe some setup from the Seraphine. But nevertheless, Thresh gives them an extra flash on the champion, sets up really well against the Zac, because once you see Zac flings himself across the sky, you can hook him out of the air or even flay him out of the air. I'm worried a little bit about this Victor pick, I won't lie to you. I don't know how it's going to be able to get in very carefully, especially that Orianna's outranging the Victor, and the Orianna's going to have a little bit of a better time in laning phase. I don't know what your opinion about that is.
You know what? Have we had the privilege of watching Alcantos picking up the Victor on stream yet? I don't believe we have from my recollection here, but I mean, I've seen Victor come out a couple times recently, and he is very heavy hitting in these late game fights. And I mean, the fact that you have a Zac as well to help with these engages, help keep that front line going, that's really going to help, really enable Victor to be poking from that back line. So as long as they can keep him safe, I think they should be fine. In terms of engage, right, you're looking at the Volibear and the Lilia. So, you know, there is a chance there for the Victor to get punished, absolutely. But with Javi floating around, I think he's going to make sure that this Victor not only stays safe, but even potentially gets that lead there in the mid lane.
Sure, I can definitely see it, especially that the Lilia, or at least early game, she's going to clear pretty fast, but the Zac is going to be most likely going to be looking for that 3-camp setup into a gank. He has pretty strong ganks into the top side, into the bot side of the map. But there is going to be a little bit of a pushback. I definitely think the volatile lane into this game is going to be the Camille versus Volibear, and who comes out of top. Because when Camille is behind, she's going to have a very hard time dealing with those type of champions, like the Orianna, like the Senna, who can poke her from, you know, a million miles away. And if she is ahead and the Volibear is behind, how is the Volibear going to be able to protect and or even initiate in specific moments into a team fight by ulting in with the Orianna Shockwave, getting a nice Lilia sleep, and etc. etc.
I mean, you have to keep in mind the Senna does scale very, very hard into this late game, but looking at what MAAD City has in terms of engage, I mean, if you get one really, really nasty Seraphine ult off on this squad, there's nothing to block it, there's nothing to really get around it, and that really just enables Zac and Camille to just go ham all over your team, while Jhin and Victor sit on the back line safely and pump out a bunch of damage. These players really need to be aware of where each other are, really keep that vision game going, because one wrong step, one wrong position, and getting caught by a big, massive CC like that could be really, really devastating here for Glaive. But there is still a chance for them to put their focus and resources into that Senna. We saw it earlier this week in the LRS draft, where Senna got really, really scaly into the late game, like 100 plus stacks, and it got to the point where there was nothing that you could do about it. It just did
No.
so much damage right now.
Especially with the new build with Kraken Slayer, Gwinsu's, and Gwinsu's got buffed this patch as well. So she's even going to be even stronger with the build. And then especially when she hits later on, when she hits a rapid fire cannon, going into, like you said, getting to that like 60 to 100 soul mark, she's just going to be a absolute terror for specific champions like the Camille or the Zac if they do not find this, or either find a good flank or be far enough ahead where they don't even care.
And right now we do have predictions open. So for those of you who've got those tokens, make sure to check how many you have. But you can go ahead and place those on which team you think is going to win this first game here tonight. But Paige, what are you thinking here in terms of comps? Where are we looking at for win cons, and what team's got the edge here?
A good question, Gurf. I'm actually super favored towards the GLV Violets team. Even though they have a lot of pressure coming in with that Zac, especially early on with some amazing ganks or even some amazing angles into specific team fights. If he can get that Senna off guard and making sure that Thresh doesn't have any ability to yank that Senna out with his lantern, it's going to be a very hard time for GLV Violet to work with. But if they are able to fend off the onslaught of Camille, Zac going in, I just feel like there's going to be a really rough time for the Jhin to pump out the damage that he wants to, or even the Victor, for example, because the Volley Bear is probably going to go on to the Victor as his first target. I really definitely think the people that you're going to be washing out this game for MAAD City is the Seraphine and the Zac.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all these members of MAAD City have been pretty insane. Last week it was actually, I believe, Axum and Ares there on the player of the game for both their games in that series. So definitely massive names to watch out for, and especially the fact that there is a Seraphine in this game. It did make its way through the bans. Could be very potent with all this damage that MAAD City has assembled. Yeah. But
just for final thoughts, I just wanted to go back. Which Lilia do you think he's going to be going for? Is it going to be the Leandri Zanya's Lilia, where she's going to look for those engages and Zanya, like flash Q's ulti Zanya's, look for the heavy engage, or do you think he's going to play more of a passive style with that Moonstaff type of build, where you're a lot more controlled and you throw a lot of bullet bolts?
I think it might be a... Well, you know what? We might get a little hint from the runes, but I think maybe you just pump that damage in. But
sure.
If their goal is to scale up for the Senna, then definitely the healing would be the way to go. But we'll have to see when we hop onto the Rift, guys. We will be back here in a few short moments, so don't go anywhere and make sure to keep getting those predictions in.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me, I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
Welcome back to week 5 of the LTS. We got our first 2 teams lined up for this series here. Well, gonna be the same 2 teams for the entire series. I'm coming from draft on Tuesday, but
Okay.
MAAD City versus GLV. MAAD on the blue, GLV on the red. Let's keep an eye on this because we were talking about some conditions that these teams need to be making, and we know MAAD City, very strong in that early game, love to push their snowball and advantage as much as they can, but a lot of what their comp revolves around requires them to really get the snowball pushed hard in these early stages of the game.
Definitely, and I just want to reiterate the Zac and the Seraphine into this game is they're going to have a huge impact of how this game's going to be turned out. If the Zac can't find any really good ganks and the Seraphine just doesn't find the encores, I don't think MAAD City really has a chance once Toast hits that 60 soul mark and starts packing out those Gwinsu's Kraken attacks, or auto attacks rather. But nevertheless, I just have a real quick question, and we were talking about this a little bit, and I wanted to point this out, is that the Lilia went Dark Harvest, which I'm having a hard time figuring out how is she going to be able to actually get in and do some damage as she's stealing the Raptor camp from the Zac into the level 2 gate.
Oh my goodness. You do it like this. You get yourself so far ahead by doing crazy stuff like this. And I mean, that invade was...
I don't think Zac knows. I don't think Zac knows that his Raptors are gone.
No, there was no vision on that whatsoever. So those Raptors were taken without his knowledge. He's going to walk back up and realize that those are not there. But that is the kind of guts that, Hodem is bringing out here to show that, you know what? I'm not afraid to take Dark Harvest Lilia. I'm here to do some big damage, and I'm not scared to steal your farms here 30 seconds into the game.
Oh my god, the Zac is going to be so sad, man. He's going to be down a camp while Lily's going to be up a camp. But even though this is a huge victory...
Take a look at this. Some good trading coming out, and the cleanse is actually going to be forced to be used here. Nutty Bars almost loses his life there.
We're on to back-to-back victories coming from GLV already. They're already pressuring the Seraphine so hard, and he's looking for the hook.
Oh, not going to land that death mark, but the flash play is there. The lockdown and first blood goes on over to Bran Z. One little whap of the chain and hook there.
What a waste.
Oh, good way to start for GLV for sure. This is definitely ideal for them.
Senna has a very strong early level 1, especially against enchanters. The one thing I will say is that top lane was pushing out his wave there, and it's bouncing back into him. So the Zac where he was in the previous notion is that he may be looking for a top gank here after Crab, but he's going to be practically ungankable unless they look for a dive. And Kira is clearly not low enough HP to get the dive, especially that he's full mana, full health, and he's really looking safe.
Yeah, just going to take it easy up there for now. He knows he doesn't have to do anything other than just outweight this game. If he can go even with Axum in this top lane, that's all he really wants. The GLV just can't afford to hand over a snowball lead to MAAD City in these early games.
Definitely, and with that early kill going onto the Thresh, which was a little bit unfortunate, but it still gives enough presence or prowess for the for GLV to really accelerate this game past or to the 30-minute mark what they want to, or even less now. But it looks like there's a heavy trade going to the top lane.
Yep.
But
Shield from Axum doing a little bit to soak it up, but he goes back in and gets the better end of that trade. We got some more action going back around these Raptors. Hodum really does not want to share.
He's like, Lily is like, can I get a little Raptor, sir? And he's like, no, get out of my house, please. Like,
Oh, Zach's already. You already got the first round of them. You're not gonna get my second one. But I mean, you can see the CS numbers, the Lily up a little bit, but Akira taking a lot of damage up here. Axum only needs to do one more auto. Gonna be a little bit healing up here by Akira, but the flash comes out, lines him up in the wrong order here. Now we got Axum on the other side. Akira still able to hold on for a little bit longer. In comes Axum and flying through the air with that kick, as the volley bear will get taken down.
Hook shot was barely long enough to get the reach to get the volley bear there, as the mid-flight ball was going for the little bit of a protection.
In comes Javi, but the flay on away. Death sentence there to lock him down, and the lantern to bring in a Hodum. Javi's gonna get quite low. He's still got the resurrection here, but those blobs are gonna be going down quite fast. That is gonna be one more left, and Toast is the one to pick it up, as GLV find themselves another kill here in this bot lane.
It's just a massive acceleration right now going to the bot lane, and getting that Senna closer and closer to their two items is going to be insane. But
Alcantos, look at him going right now. The stun, the lockdown, no mana on this Orianna. The flash to follow him over the wall. Look at the laser beam going. One more little pop will do it, but we've got more action down in this bot lane, as it's Toast actually getting chased away. He's going to have to flash. Brand Z with the hook and the stun from the Senna, but ooh, Alcantos just barely not able to find this Orianna. However, Brand Z is here. He's going to look to lock down this Victor, but he himself is quite low as well. Has to be quite careful here. Hook's going to go a little wide on that one, and everyone's just going to back off as this first Dragon of the game is started up.
it was a nice one-for-one trade, and not being able to pick up that Senna was a little bit rough. The Jhin is already down 10 CS, which isn't a huge amount, but it's still something. And you can see there's going to be a slow and punishing, it's going to be a slow crawl trying to get that CS back up. But you can see there's going to be,
Toast.
a little bit of a dance.
Yeah, he's given Javi a little bit of a rough time there on that Dragon take, but MAAD City still able to secure that Ocean, and we got Inferno coming up next, which my guess means that is a Mountain Soul for this game that we're going to see. And that extra tank, really for any one of these teams, would be great. I mean, on the Volley Bear and on the Thresh, just takes them to that already beefy to just that little bit extra beefy that they can use to survive. But on a Zac, I mean, he just becomes an unkillable blob if MAAD City is able to secure that soul.
Now you can see a little bit, if you look at Lily's items before he initiates on this, it looks like Camille's going to walk away though, because you know Camille thinks. But he's going to go for the Moonstaff actually. He got the mirror, and it looks like I don't think any other match or items would be ever prevalent onto that champion. So it's very exciting to see that they're going to go for this more disengaging, more let them come to us and punish them. And it seems like that's been what they've been doing. Even in the bot side, they've been a little bit aggressive, but they're catching them out, overextending, and picking up a couple of kills onto this set is always nice.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been quite busy down there in the bot lane right now, but kills are only 2 for 2 right now. I say that, but the Shockwave is going to catch Alcantos as Hodum comes on in. A lot of damage coming through from these members of GLV, and it will be picked up by their jungler as Alcantos is picked off here. And look at Hodum right now. He's not done. He is looking to take as much as he can, but no jungle camps up right over here on this side of the jungle.
Even though there's going to be some trading to the top lane, it looks like it's going to continue. Okay. There's some trading to the top lane here. I'm so surprised there's been no tanks into the top lane from either jungler. It's been very bot-centric, probably because of the unstability that the bot lane already caused, giving over first blood to GLV Violet's bot lane already. But nevertheless, I do want to specify that Camille not getting the head here, it's going to be a little bit rough, especially that this set is already, 1-0. She's out farming the enemy Jin. Even though Jin's always going to be helpful, there's going to be a point where Senna just absolutely overtakes anything that Jin does.
You see how aggressive Toast and Branzy are in this bot lane, having the wave shoved up. And not worried so much about Javi coming in. They do have some decent disengage between them. But we have a little bit of action here in this bot lane. The box is going to come out from Branzy, but no kills picked up. Only an exchange of summoners there off of Ares.
Man, it's just looking so rough already for Javi on the Zac pick. He hasn't found anything that he's been wanting recently. And there's been a lot of back and forth fights for sure, but I think it's just one hook, as you've been seeing. It's all that it takes to take over the game.
Well, let's see it. Member stepping up here. That's going to be Ares getting quite close to that 6, which you can see that hesitancy of Branzy and Toast kind of stepping in and out there, not wanting to get hit by the shockwave coming through again on Kantos. This looks like a replay from a few minutes ago, except this time we have Javi here. It does not matter because Victor's just going to get picked right off there by One-Eyed Owl and Hodum again. Really well played.
Top lane as well, where Kylie was showing his bear presence, ulting onto the enemy tower there. Unfortunately, unable to pick up anything as Camille is even with HP now. But it's still a nice back and forth that we've been able to see, especially that I believe, in my opinion, that Glade Violet's team outscales pretty heavy, even though they have a one kill Camille to the top lane, just looking more and more rough. As you can see, the Victor's 0-2. There's been really nice gank set up with the Oriana shockwave into the sleep coming from the Lilia there, actually not getting abused at all and actually profiting off of the Dark Harvest stacks.
Yep. Getting the Dark Harvest stacks, and those 2 kills have gone on to a Hodum as well too. So I mean, you can see he's already got his Moonstone at 11 minutes, so this is a huge spike, a huge advantage, and a huge gain of tempo that GLV currently have in their hands. We have another Dragon up in 15 seconds, so we need to keep our eyes around here as we start to see numbers shift down towards this bot lane. Possibly Branzy look for something. He is going to land that hook onto Javi, but I don't think they want to follow that one up. However, Hodum is over this wall. That's going to be Javi maybe looking to go back in, but Lilia is going to get hit by that Seraphine ult. Here come the TPs as well. Alcanto's chasing these members back, trying to peel back for his team, but there's 5 members of GLV chasing him back on down. Alcanto's, you have to get out. That's going to be the curtain call used as well too. TP in the back line here from MAAD City. In comes Axum. He's going to get locked down by that center route. However, lots of these members of MAAD City are going to be able to pick off this Lilia. Toast is in that back line, and Axum not able to find a member there. So far, just a 1-for-1 trade, as each of these teams decided to just trade one of these members. They pushed one into one group of team, and then the other into the other team. But that might look to be this dragon, but nobody really showing interest in picking up an early Infernal here.
I mean, what can you say? I would definitely say it's going to be the second in the Dragon of the game. I think picking up that 4 might have been the right play, but the Lily was down, even with the Zac was down as well. It was looking a little scary as somebody like the Jin, who has a 4-shot, who can just walk up, auto attack it for 700 HP and just be absolutely unstoppable. But it seems like they are going to be looking to group up, as both teams are pinging for Dragon assistance. But it seems like only one team is going to be responding.
You see Branzy and Toast already here with the Hodum. And this Inferno has been started up. Javi sitting around that backside of the Dragon Pit. Maybe looking to go in and make something happen here, but no TPs are going to be up. They were all used in that last fight, so the numbers, whatever you have here is what you have. We got a 4v4, but Javi's looking to go back in. That's going to be the shockwave used immediately. Senna there to lock him down and use that ult, but Zac into Bluff Armor. Are they going to be able to take him out? This Infernal Dragon is still up. The flash is going to be used there by the Orion to get out, and unfortunately Banzi will drop. Big center root as well too. Let's see how much damage Toast can pump out. The flash, the auto will pick off Victor. while Kantos drops, and Akira here, who has shown up to help out with this Infernal. And a full health volley bear is going to do quite a lot. That Senna ult does hit Toast, but in goes Akira. Toast will drop, but so does his opposing ADC. Ares still alive on the backside, and One-Eyed Owl with a sliver of health going to help pick up this dragon, but it was an absolute bloodbath for that Infernal.
Just a slaughter back and forth, and the pickup for the Jhin coming from the plus 400 gold onto the Senna is always a good treat. But nevertheless, you can already see that Senna is getting so far ahead. It's getting these trades and mostly positive, going from 2-0 to 4-1 for that fight is pretty damn good in my opinion. Picking up the Kraken Slayer, forcing to use the flash to kill the Victor, but able to pick up the Zac as well. She's sitting at 42 souls already. And in my opinion, as a Camille is looking a little juicy.
Oh boy, here comes Rancy with the Flay. Actually, he's going to have to try and get out, but he's getting slowed down by that Senna. Locked down as well, and that's just going to be a dead Camille. Nowhere for him to go, as seems like something similar is happening on the bot side to the GLV top laners. The curtain call will come out. Akira trying his best to dodge 1, 2, 3. Can he make it away from the fourth? Not one of those are going to land, but Javi is still here. I don't think they're quite done with this volley bears. In goes the Zac. They're gonna get him maybe locked down. Not quite. This turret dive is getting a little shaky here, but they might be able to do it with one last shot from the Jhin. No! Akira is gonna kite them around. An unfortunate tower dive there, gone south so fast. Ares gonna flash as well too, but luckily Nutty Bars gets that fourth shot back and finally ends Akira's rampage.
And there's also another trade back and forth in the mid
lane. The shockwave is not available. What about Kantos? I don't know. He's so fast, but he's so low, and he just barely stays alive after that one. My goodness.
See, and at this point, you can already tell being the Lilia being 3-3.
Speaking of Lilia, did you just see that that swirl seed almost finding the Victor from behind the blue buff? Ridiculous.
That would have been almost insane.
It would have been such a sick play, but right now we've got, again, an exchange of jungle resources without vision being on each other right now, as Senna does pick up that tier 2 top turret right now again. GLV sitting right now in the driver's seat of this game. Branzy again fishing for some kills, but in goes Javi. He finds a Lilia, but the flash from Branzy to get on out of there does not want to deal with him, and a sad lantern goes untaken.
So Lantern's lives matter. There's a soul for each lantern, and if you don't take it, you don't free the soul. Unfortunate. Yep. But I just want to comment just back onto those two, that top side to bot side switch where Akira went 1 for 1, and to the top side map it was 1 for 0. You can just already see the reason why that play worked so poorly is just how strong, or just the difference between the two champions are, as Akira was our full tanky, he's getting his armor, it took a lot more time, and they had to dive him to get to that point where they were able to kill them. But also, going to the top side, the Kraken Slayer was putting a lot of damage. Senna had an easier time locking up the Camille, and the Camille being a lot more squishier. It's just two champions are completely different at this point.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye around here because these support seems to be making a lot of moves here. Both Branzy and Ares have been on point for really initiating these fights and finding the picks here for both their teams. So I'm it's, you know, not me being biased as a support player. Okay, maybe just a little bit, but they have been putting in quite a bit of work for their team. You can see the vision from both of them are quite significant, and they have contributed to quite a large amount of these kills. Axum, ooh, be careful there, buddy. You're almost going to get hooked there. You got to be aware. And Branzy is always on the hunt for a pick.
And like you said, I also wanted to say that when they were on the top side of the map, picking up that blue buff as...
Uh-oh, that's going to be a little something going down right now. Javi is jumping on these members as Nutty Bars goes on a killing spree here. That curtain call, but TP's coming through for Mad City as it's going to be a few members locked down and allows the rest of GLV to escape here safely. Big shockwave.
Looks
Big
like,
shockwave there
yeah,
from
big
Orianna.
shockwave.
Wow.
And also Seraphine ulti was not used at all during those fights. And it looks like they may be getting rid of the dragon. Is a cloud dragon, which both teams aren't the biggest fan of. I mean, I definitely could say Victor really likes Cloud Soul. The Camille kind of likes Cloud Soul, and the Zac likes Cloud Soul, but at the end of the day, it's not very necessary, as they're not really going to be moving around too much, as the rest of the ultimates are going to be kind of stationary. So I would definitely say the Victor only is going to be holding the true happiness from this Cloud Soul, but the ultimate CDR is going to be very nice for the Seraphine, especially in the fights if she whiffs it early and she doesn't get anybody with the Encore. It's going to be very crucial to get that ultimate as fast as possible.
What I've noticed a lot with the LTS too is that these fights can go extended so far at points where players can get their ults back a second time. So, I mean, a Cloud Drake on the Seraphine would be great, especially, you know, the fact that she has a Moonstone as well. This means she's really going to be rolling essentially the same thing that the Lilia is looking to do for her team. She's going to be looking to fill that void as well too, but I mean, GLV right now is still doing quite well for themselves. They're up about 2.5k gold right now at 20 minutes. Baron is up on the board right now, but I don't see any of these teams going for the Baron unless we see a massive fight break out and potentially an ace come through. But what it would take to actually do that at this point, not too sure.
I think fantastic.
Okay, you can theorize now for a bit.
No, I wanted to say, I think the reason why they didn't want to fight that that Cloud Dragon there, is that the biggest spike the team can have right now, including besides the Senna picking up that Guinsoo's, and she didn't have it before, is the Lily picking up Flower, like the Water Staff. Because it's giving that extra AP and movement speed. Volibear has fantastic AP ratios. Orianna has fantastic AP ratios. Senna has fantastic AP ratios with the healing on her Q, with her ultimate, with the shield, as well as the Thresh as well. If it ever gets to the point where the healing is going to be healing the Thresh. But besides that, I just want to say, this fight's going to get bloody real fast once we get to the second or even third item. Now, do you think MAAD City has a good chance, and when do they have a good chance?
I mean, it'd be in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, if this game goes past 30 and Senna gets those full scales, it's going to be a little too difficult at that point to deal with her. I mean, she's one away from hitting 60 stacks, which is her big spike. That's her big turning point. So the fact that she's one away here at 20 minutes does not look great for MAAD. It's not impossible for them. They're not out of this game by any means whatsoever. But they are going to have to find a pick on the Senna, and it's becoming more and more hard to do that, especially the fact that Branzy is always beside the Senna. He does not let her go unattended and has been there every single time as Zac's looked to dive. But speaking of Zac dives, in comes Javi onto Akira. He's down there by himself, but is not going to be able to find a 1v2 situation this time.
I'm surprised how slow the reaction speed of Glaive Violet going into that, because I think that was a perfect time to go Baron. Camille was bot lane, Zac was, you saw Zac ganking bot there. How the hell are they going to be able to respond, especially that even if it was the three members with Seraphine, Jhin, and Victor, how are they going to get in with the Lilia with a Orianna Shockwave, Lilia ultimate, Senna ultimate? I don't find there's any way they could have actually get in. Maybe they didn't think there was enough DPS coming from Senna, but you can already see from the Kraken Slave and Guinsoo, she has so much attack speed. She's basically just a regular champ at this point.
No, that would have been a great opportunity for Glaive to go for that. Knowing that the Zac is down on the bot side, knowing that you have these ults to box out any other members of MAAD City if they decide to come on up to you, that would have been fantastic. But right now, Branzy, again, that's what we were just saying a couple seconds ago, why this support is so clutch right now for the side of Glaive. He is right there to stop that Zac from diving onto Toast. Exactly what MAAD City need at this moment, but are not going to be able to find it. He's actually going to force a flash out here. Javi getting quite low. The box comes out as well too, but here's the curtain call being popped. Zac goes down into blob mode, but Akira is in the front line to pick those blobs off, but the kill ends up going on over the Toast. Exactly what Glaive want right now is getting this Senna ahead.
And like you said, like we said actually in the beforehand, like how are they going to be able to get in? You see, the Zac was going in, he just get flayed the first time, he goes in the second time, he gets flayed again, forcing out the Senna flash. Don't mind you, but Seraphine ulti only hit one target, and it was Akira. That's not the target you want to be hitting. You want to be hitting the Orianna, the Senna, and that little mishap has turned them into a Baron take.
Baron has been taken. Branzy taking a couple of shots there, but it is GLV who secure the big giant purple worm, and they have got themselves some excellent tempo on their hands. Let's see what they can make use of with this buff. Axum going back on over. One-Eyed Owl is still here, but wow, that is going to be a lot of damage coming out of this Camille. And let's see if One-Eyed Owl is able to find it. That's going to be the shockwave. Nutty Bars takes a lot of damage. You are still an ADC, my friend. And in goes Axum. He wants to trade back up. He's not happy with what just happened to his ADC, but he's got to be careful too. Those Baroned up minions doing a hell of a lot of damage to you.
And while you were having an exciting moment into the top lane, Senna gets caught by Zac. There was no assistance that they were going to be able to do. Thresh wasn't there. He went up to get a really greedy take onto the minion wave, but unfortunately,
Branzy! Oh, he just stole the scuttle with a Thresh auto. This guy does not have any fears. He's not even with anybody. And, I mean, Alcantros was there taking the Gromp. They could have just pincered off Branzy there if they wanted to, as they're looking for the hook. Not going to land there. That was really, really ballsy by Branzy.
Definitely, that could have been turned to the worst, as you can tell. He's dancing.
Look at him!
He does not care, and it looks like respecting him. Look how much respect that Branzy is getting for being so ballsy. It's Australia's pop.
Pop it in. There goes the shockwave and the Blaze as well too. Big Seraphine ult to come down and lock down these members of GLV, and they're actually going to be dropping. 2 members go down there as Akira is dealing with this Camille on his back end. However, the curtain call is there. That's actually going to be the flash on out. Alcantros is quite low, but Javi going back in to get this fight started back up. He's going to get ripped apart, and in comes Akira, who with the big volley bear ult. These members of GLV are extremely low, but so is Akira. He's going to do a lot of healing. He finds another. Oh my god. This volley bear is insane. Akira absolutely popping off.
Most gets a little bit of caught out there, especially at the tail end of that, but the first part where you can see there was basically a 2v3 onto the bot side. They were able to pick up the Camille into the top side for the Violet, but the Lilia and the Thresh Death basically came unanswered onto the bot side until Akira was able to maneuver all the way down with the Senna. That was a really good re-engage by the Zac to lock up the Senna, but they didn't kill her in time before they were able to pick off 1-for-1, and Akira just went man mode. He was just getting a frenzy. He's like, don't kill my AD carry. And just hops into 1v3, just enough where she can get that chomp and a little bit of that protection from Orianna, but the Camille.
I mean, he does get the tower, but the Hextech ultimatum is come down. The stopwatch is going to be forced to use, but Axum is probably going to find this one, except Branzy comes out of nowhere! Axum still finds the kill. Oh, Branzy almost able to save his mid laner.
All he had to do there was auto attack, but he went for the hook, just hoping that the Camille was going to back off with a hook shot or something like that, but otherwise almost a fantastic play saving. Oh, don't do it!
Oh my god, Branzy! Branzy, they have families! They have red buffs that they have to secure, but no, he does not care. He is just in the faces of Mad City right now. This is some amazing Thresh playing coming through.
He's just looking him in his eyes and says, look at me. I am made up now. And just fucking, just absolutely just hammering this game home as he's just walking in the face of death 24/7 and not caring a single bit. Shirley is into 4 people, so they're setting themselves up for some fantastic plays, and you can just see how this game's been turning out. It's 27 minutes. Like I've been saying, they have 30 minutes to end the game, and it's looking like this team is just falling apart. The only way I really think this game can turn the tides is if they can get the Senna before she does any damage, which is going to be a little bit of a difficulty if Toast doesn't be careful. But they have so much peel for the Senna. Orianna Shockwave, Lilia Ultimate, just volley burst in general, as well as lantern, flay, hook, all those snazzy utilities. So the man, the myth, the legend, the Toast can really pop off, and he's already almost at 80 stacks already.
He is one away from hitting that 80 stack spike. So again, this game just gets scarier and scarier as it goes on. MAAD City needs to be very careful, but I mean, again, the big one that stands out to me is Branzy making these initiations, but also doing a great job at peeling for his team, cutting off the options that MAAD City have. And that has really just allowed this Senator to just flourish in this game, which is why she has 80 stacks in 28 minutes. So it's just been incredible stuff from the bot lane of GLV.
Who knew that Thresh was the ultimate Mr. Stereo Girl, taking Lucian out of the picture and having Senna as the dangerous duo in the bot lane.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. It's even fun, even follows the lore. I love it. Well, let's see. Again, the Raptors this game have belonged to GLV Esports. They do not want to give up one little piece. Both teams tied at 2 dragons apiece, but GLV clearly sitting right now in the driver's seat, up 5k gold, up 3 kills, up 4 towers to 2. And they're going to look to maybe even take another Baron here, as this one's back up on the map in 2 seconds.
Now, Volibear does have the TP available, and I do want to say the real important bit about this entire fight that's going to be happening as the curtain call goes up is that Senna has both sums, so let's see how she utilizes it to be able to secure this team fight victory from one way or the other.
Oh, Branzy's going to pop the Shurelias, but he will get shredded apart. The Hextech ultimatum in the back line, but Javi's bounce around the back line of GLV. Akira, who is here though, and we know how big this Volibear is. As GLV turns this fight around, Axum will drop as well too, and it's only Nutty Bars remaining as Javi goes down on the backside out of claw mode. And, oh my goodness. Akira with them another triple kill. This should just be Baron for GLV and potentially the game.
He's just saying, I'm tired of these MAAD City folk taking up the streamer spots. I need to get a little bit more streaming action in my life. And Volibear is just running Nutty Bars down and getting... Luckily, he just doesn't have a peanut allergy. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh man, that's the second Baron of the game that GLV have picked up. There's another Dragon on the map in 10 seconds, and I wouldn't be surprised if they immediately head there. We see the pings coming out already, and that would put them at Soul Point 2. But I don't think they will need Soul in order to finish this game. We are actually past that 30-minute mark. The Senna is sitting on currently 92 souls, so it's going to be really tough for MAAD City to deal with GLV at this point.
Definitely, especially of what we can see, that they have so much terrain control coming from the Shockwave and the and Akira being able to hop over the walls with hooks to be able to just disrupt what MAAD City is trying to go for. And even at this point, I just think the game is just looking to be a loss. Look at how much pressure that GLV Violet is pushing onto the...
Try for Akira here. The TPs are coming out. It's actually going to be interrupted, so Akira is going to be forced to fight this 1v2 as another fight breaks out in the mid lane. Does not care about this. Alcantos is going down as well too, as more members of MAAD City are falling in this mid lane. Way too much damage for them to deal with at this point. Javi goes down as well too, as Toast finds himself another kill. Ooh. Almost a pick there by Branzy, but GLV just going to march on into the base of MAAD City here. They still got that Baron buff for another minute and a half, and it just might be the game here if they group as 5.
Man, I think so too. Just the Senna has been absolute terror. He even picked up the GA just in case if he just doesn't put
oh my god! The damage is insane. Axum does find a shutdown on to Akira, but that damage coming out of Senna, what the hell?
I mean, man, that is just not balanced. Literally, people were like, "Is this the bug riot?" But it was like, no.
No, it's not. Oh, okay. Question mark. It's a feature. It's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature, guys. It's a feature. Don't worry about it.
Oh, looks like GLV are gonna back off though. They're not ready to quite end here. Numbers coming back up for the sideline. But yeah, they're having fun with the Senna right now. Currently at let's just get a quick peek here. 108 stacks.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, I don't think. I think he needs a little bit more range. You know, he must hit from 2 towers away instead of 1.
Yes.
I get you.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, once the Senna hits 120, I mean, good luck trying to find them. Especially the fact that Branzy is going to be sitting right next to Toast in any of the engages that MAAD City try to make. I just don't know how you come back from this 10k gold lead for GLV that they were able to push with their Baron power play. Pretty insane what they have done here and really showing their power. The past 3 minutes have been an absolute GLV show.
Definitely, and I'm glad to see it as their initial record, at least right now, is 1-3, and they're really saying, look, we are not a team that want to be messed with. They're 1-3, but no more. But it's going to be a brutal series overall because we've seen how MAAD can play, how, you know, mad they are, and just how crazy they can be.
Oh my god, look at these junglers. Over the wall they go. We're going to have a meatball fight. My apologies, though, because it's not the jungler. It is Akira Ku, found up there by 3 members of MAAD City. They're going to be chasing him down. Axum is here to join as well. Are they seriously sending your entire team onto one member? That's going to mean your bot side is completely going to get shredded apart here.
Yeah, they're going to be opening up this bot tower here as they're going to be, as they even pinged question marks a couple times, like, why did they send 5? So they get a free inhib here and putting even more pressure onto MAAD to try to stick and put some, maybe a little bit of gorilla tape or just regular duct tape and just try to patch this baby together and hold on for dear life.
I don't know how much patching you can need, but you know, it's not always gonna work. I would love to give MAAD the benefit of the doubt, but right now GLV has just such an insurmountable lead that I don't think it is possible on paper for MAAD to come back unless they find some crazy fight, some crazy ace here at this point in the game.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, unless they find some crazy pick here in the game, or unless they're able to delay this soul for a little longer without giving an ace on over to GLV, this is looking like it's a very low possibility for MAAD to even consider coming back. GLV has just done such a good job here in the past 5 minutes to really cement their lead and cement up the incoming win.
And even if you even check it out right now, that Toast is 6 souls away from getting what's the word I'm looking for?
120, but in comes the curtain call. This is what MAAD City might be going for. Here's the pick onto One-Eyed Owl. He's going low, but he will go golden. In his brand two. The box is here. Look at the set of damage. Indeed, this is insane. GLV turning it around. Kanto's getting low as well. A couple members picked off out here, but Akira here, who looking to go back in. He's just escorting Toast through this line of fire, but a lot of damage MAAD City still have to offer, especially with that force shot from Jin. Branzy is going to get picked off. This might be the turnaround here by MAAD. Oh my goodness.
I think that's probably the best thing they could have gone from the 6 especially that you could have saw, especially that you've seen that they caught up the Orion there very early in the fight, forcing the Zhonya's, but it didn't even matter. Because you can see the shockwaves wasn't even used into that fight. She still had flash. She was unable to do what she wanted to do, but there was just a metric ton of set of damage. If you were looking into the back line, just absolutely eviscerating the Zac and the Camille right after Oriana got caught out there. But as you can see, that Branzy and Akira was going a little ham onto the rest of the team, onto the MAAD, holding themselves together a little bit more. But it looks like this is going to be a GLV favored dragon.
Yes, it's looking like it might just be the soul picked up here by GLV. They are going to have to end this game out because, I mean, once both these teams get all their level 18s, that lead that they have here right now becomes a little less, how you say, potent.
122, by the way.
122 stacks on the Senna. Wow, that is, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
Just
so, GLV definitely looking good right now, but they need to end very soon. Because we can see Camille's level 18, the Victor's level 18, Nutty Bars is 2 away at this point. As this Baron...
Zach's going in?
Oh, potential here, Branzy. No. Jubby, what are you doing? He's going to go in and just get picked off immediately. I'm not too sure what the plan was here, as it looks like One-Eyed Owl is on the backside of this.
3 shot.
Axum is going to be next to go, even though the Hextech Ultimatum comes down, but the Senna damages 2. Wait a minute, Alcantos is able to pick off 1. Toast is Guardian Angel is going to get popped right now, as Alcantos is here for some extra damage. Nutty Bars goes in. Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. Alcantos, you're going to get really low there, as Akira, who comes from the backside here. Nutty Bars, what the hell?
So I just want to say that Jin is besides Senna, who's infinite scaling, Jin is the hardest scaling EDC in the game that doesn't have an infinite scaling passive. So I am not surprised how much damage that Jin has been able to put out. And I just want to let you know that fight was also 4v4 because, you know, Javi kind of ran it into the enemy team. But nevertheless, like, that was a great pick back up by the by Nutty Bars there, as he was just pounding through damage, getting those 4 shots in, getting those heavy autos, and really getting those key targets like Toast out of the fights so they cannot end still.
Yep, and the Guardian Angel is actually going to be down too, so that is a massive loss to the side of GLV. They might have to take it safe here in the next minute or two, but I mean, again, that is just opening that window for MAAD to come back. We see that gold lead shrinking down. It's no longer 10k, it's 6k, which is still pretty significant. And yes, GLV do have that soul, but again, these levels are starting to catch up. Jin almost level 18 as well too, and we saw what Nutty Bars did in that last fight. Can't let him get ahead here, as this Baron is going to be started up.
TP right now.
Uh-oh. Here comes the curtain call as well too. Branzy going to take the last little poke of that. Ooh, he's going to take a lot of poke of that. He's down
Just a little bit.
half health there. You can see maybe fishing for something over this wall. Let's see if they can do it.
Good try, good guess. They did hit the Jin there, so there was a little bit of healing back onto Branzy there, but they're really focusing this Baron down, as they have no clue, they have no vision. There's a pink word. I don't know if they're gonna.
This Baron is just gonna get shredded apart by GLV, but MAAD City looking to re-engage on this one too. Akira, who is in the backline trying to defend as much as he can. MAAD City just cannot find a window into this fight. Ares is going to be low as well too, and unfortunately Nutty was dropped earlier in that fight. A triple kill here for Toast, and that should just be the game for GLV as they find the ace, they find the Baron, and they finally are going to bring this first game to a close.
Nutty Bars didn't have the cleanse, and he just got hooked out of the blue there, and just absolutely popped in the early game fight. So they just didn't have the DPS for it. The Camille wasn't strong enough to put pressure onto GLV, but a great game overall.
That was honestly insane from GLV at that 25 minute to 35 minute mark. They were just completely in the driver's seat. But Matt, like I was saying, MAAD City was showing life, and as they were getting to those level 18s, we saw them start to potentially mount a comeback. But I mean, the amount of damage that was coming out and the Branzy hooks in this game, I mean, look at the guy. He got 21 assists this game. He was on point. He was so
absolutely on fire.
Wow, incredible.
By the way, did you see the damage chart yet?
Flipping on over to the damage chart right now. Wow. That's,
a standard DK. It's a standard.
It's a lot of damage from the Senna.
You saw the Jin pumping out a lot too, so you could only imagine how much I don't know. I know this is a little bit overkill, but I'm kind of interested to see what the true damage looked like from the Senna there from the Kraken.
True damage to champions. Let's see if we can check out true damage here. Dun dun dun. Okay. 5,000? 5.7k? Or is that less than that? My charts might be going a little wonky right now too. So.
I think mine too. Yeah. I think mine too. Honestly.
There we go. At least we can have faith in this client every day.
Yeah, I mean, right games will always serve us well, as you can tell.
Yes, they do. But that was a incredible game out of GLV. However, this series is not done yet. This is a best of 3, so we will be back in a little while, my friends. But before we do that, we're going to pop that player of the game poll. So that is open right now. Make sure to vote for who you believe deserves player of the game. But I mean, we had some great stuff from GLV this game. I mean, yes, Toast was on point with that Senna. He was doing so much damage. And, of course, 14, 4, and 17, that's pretty impressive. But, without the help of his support, I don't think the Senna could have gotten to that late game point, especially with all the resources that MAAD City was trying to pour and take out poor Toast there. Branzy was an amazing support this game. But same page. Any last words about game one before we head to break?
I mean, I'm just going to say Akira did a fantastic job holding his ground to the top lane. I was still super surprised there was no battles between the top lane, especially with some jungle substance. Getting that Camille was probably the most important, in my opinion, key part of their draft to make sure the Camille was happy enough to be able to safely split push against the Volibear, especially if the Volibear was going full damage when Lilia made sure the Victor didn't have a good time in the into the mid lane.
Yeah, but let's head it to break while our players get ready for game number 2. We will see you back here in 5 minutes for our player of the game from game number 1. But we'll see if MAAD City can take one back, or if GLV are going to take down MAAD City in 2-0 tonight. We'll see you soon. Hello, 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 and welcome back to week 5 of the LTS Premade. We got our first player of the game from game number 1. It's none other than Brand Z on that thresh going 2-5 and 21. And my God, the protector of the bot lane in that game. Brand Z was just definitely on point, making sure that Senna made it to that late game scaling. But we got game 2 coming up, same page, and let's talk about what we might be seeing here, or what we might not be seeing in this next game.
I always ask you what kind of bands would be coming out, but I mean, it's the roles have turned. I definitely think a good thing they can probably do here is, if I'm just double checking, is if maybe in my opinion, just getting rid of the Senna. If you're gonna go for something like hyper aggressive there, getting rid of the only other scaling champion into the game, especially if you're going to be picking up the Jhin again, is going to be Senna. Is going to be Senna rather. And even if they do pick up the Jhin, picking up the Seraphine and or even I would say banning the Seraphine and picking up something like a Karma or maybe a little bit more of an aggressive bot lane as the Kai'Sa. I know it was nerfed this patch, but the patch didn't really affect Kai'Sa too much. I think somebody went into like into game and he lost like 60 damage onto Kai'Sa Q, which isn't a lot.
Yeah, we'll see if that setup does make it through, but I believe these players are ready to go. So let's just see with our own eyes here instead of predicting what these guys are going to be doing here in our second game of the night. So we'll give them the ready check and let them know to start this one up, start this Penta up for us. Yeah, that was a really good game on GLV. They knew exactly what their win con was there, which was getting to that late game stage with the Senna. So they did everything they possibly could to get her there. And, I mean, you could see the damage pay off. You saw the damage charts at the end of that game. Was pretty insane, but GLV's going to stick with the same band here, taking away that Gnar from MAAD City.
Unfortunately, my Penta Q is lagging a little bit. So I'm going to refresh it real fast. But picking up the Gnar, Gnar is going to be always very strong if he's able to lane by himself. And those amazing Gnar ultis are always a scary thought. But nevertheless, I'm going to have you cast some bans for me so I can help you along with this.
Well, Skarner gone from GLV again. MAAD City are going to ban out the Seraphine. The fact that GLV have that first pick, they do not want to risk it. Definitely a pick ban kind of champion right now, especially with the amount of damage she can still pump out, even when she goes Moonstone. But MAAD City do make the call to take that Senna off the board, which is pretty wise after how it went last game.
Definitely, and I think Senna's probably the safest champion in the game right now, especially if you don't have any real, I guess you would say, flips, like a Leona, like a Nautilus, like a Thresh, even to be able to threaten the Senna to getting her out of her comfort zone, which is that extended range that she's inevitably going to get. And playing with the Seraphine is not too bad, especially that you saw what happened was the Seraphine and the Jhin, even though losing First Blood and having a couple of blunders down to the bot lane, still the Jhin was able to pop off. Maybe there was a really good Seraphine ulti if they hit to later on to the game. Like they did at that one fight where where Nutty Bars kind of treated very evenly and got a triple kill.
Oh boy.
It's still loading for me.
Oh boy. Okay, so
that's all I see.
Yes. We got the Lilia ban out from MAAD there, but that leaves a Hecarim open. So, I mean, that's a great takeaway from Javi, but I'm pretty sure Ahodem plays this champion as well. Just a very strong jungler right now. So
good, especially with the jungle nerfs. He has such a fast clear, and his build is not even that expensive. So his early game decisions is going to be absolutely astronomical, and you can't even sleep on Hecarim's ultimate. I'm blanking on the name. I believe it's called Relentless Assault. No.
Come on, we can do this. We can do this.
Do this.
It starts with an I. I know it starts with an I, but I'm totally blanking. Chat, help us out.
Casters, by the way, casters.
Yes, we are casters.
Oh
my goodness, we got the GP through for MAAD City on Axum, we haven't actually gotten to see that since week 1 where he went 11-3 and 12 on it. So
Onslaught of Shadows, by the way.
Onslaught of Shadows. Thank you so much, Paige. But Gangplank for Axum, Orianna coming through again, but this time it is going to be for Alcanto. So again, that's just overall a safe mid pick that they can go for, but the GP is going to be quite scary. But GLV, seeing that Galio is up, they might just go for Galio Camille here, honestly.
Exactly what I was thinking. Absolutely on the nose. If they can pick up the Galio Camille, it does show their hand here where they're going to go for the dive or really heavy engage. But maybe the flip around here. As you can see, MAAD is already shown that they want to be able to control the match. They're very blue. They want to very much control the terrain with Shockwave and Cannon Barrage, be able to take space with barrels as well as Ori Ball, and to make sure that they have a hard time rushing through. But you know what they say is they don't care. Nope. They have Onslaught of Shadows. They have Hookshot into Camille ulti to pick off some squishy targets like we saw in the first game with Camille onto the other Orianna that was played on One-Eyed Owl. But nevertheless, it's a very interesting switch around, especially if they continue with this more setback scale control. Rel is a good option. I think Rel is probably a fantastic pick because she can actually, what a lot of people don't use her for is that disengage. She's a very heavy disengage champion now if you really think about it, because if she goes in and she misses her abilities, what is she going to do? So setting up against the all-in with the Onslaught of Shadows, with the heroic entrance, and being able to rally everybody with their ultimate there and stunning everybody up and knocking them up, it's going to be very huge. Especially that there's going to be some options that Glaive are going to have denied, especially with the terrain altering tools that MAAD has already. But it doesn't mean that if this Hecarim goes 1v9 mode and gets 4 kills in the early game that it matters.
I'm wondering whether or not MAAD go for their ADC or their jungle pick for the next pick, and what they, I mean, that essentially what I'm getting to is what are they going to save for their counter pick in that last slot there, as Zach is going to go as well from this map, as ADC seemed to be the target, but this was what was banned against them game 1 there, or what they banned against GLV in game 1, so they're going to be taking that Xayah away from the side of GLV, and the fact that we see, you know, Xayah Rakan were up, we saw those bans come through last game from MAAD City, just denying that combo that they could have gone for, but Ezreal, not a bad pick.
I'm not mad at the Ezra. I don't think it's the fantastic pick here. He might be going for that very aggressive build that people have been building since it was debuted on LCS, which is the Essence Reaver to Duskblade build. Something that he probably can be looking for, especially that there's so many squishy targets. But he chooses the Bard for the extra all-in. Just a little cherry on top with the Bard ultimate. This is a very rampagey, I'm going to get ahead if you like it or not type of comp, and I really am interested to see if they can pull through with it. This
is, you know what, I think Brand Z is rubbing off on the rest of his team, because this whole comp kind of revolves around, we do not give an F of what you are about to do to us, we are just here to do damage.
Don't do Mundo.
But the Jungle Mundo is going to be coming through for Javi. Oh my god.
So a little bit of history on Jungle Mundo is that actually he's one of the champions that's super oppressive in solo queue right now. He's very disgusting. If you want to take him to the jungle, he's a get diamond quick type of champion in my opinion. He's very simple, but he's a very fast clear. He can clear with Hecarim. And being able to six camp all the way through and to be able to meet people at level 4 to face the enemy jungler at the Scuttle Crab rather. But the only issue that I find that he's going to have a hard time in is once we hit that early game, especially that you see something like the Hecarim, the Camille, the Galio being able to rotate over to harass the Mundo. The Mundo is going to have a hard time early if he doesn't get a couple easy kills or being able to I guess get ahead in some other way like CS or XP or whatnot, just due to the fact that he's very squishy early on. He requires an item or two before he starts really being abhorrent and very aggressive. And even with the pickup onto the Mundo, which is a very scary front line, don't get me wrong, I just feel like this Camille's going to have a ball with the Mundo, especially once we hit later onto the game.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that's the response from MAAD is to also put something into the game that's also a big FU. All I can imagine is if this was like a real esports arena and stuff, is both these teams are like pressed up against the glass, flipping each other the bird, like, yo, let's go!
and the crowd goes, oh.
But I'm excited to see what GLV are about to do this game, because you're totally right. They're not scared coming into this draft. They're not afraid to show their hand, because what they have drafted here is extremely strong for not only 5-man deathballing, but making picks around the map as well too. So this is really exciting to see, and I'm excited to watch BrandZ on this Bard, knowing that he's got that very aggressive playstyle. He is going to be all over this this bot side of MAAD City, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that, especially the fact that, you know, MAAD City are able to make those cross-map plays with the Cannon Barrage from a Axum's Gangplank there. So a lot of back and forth potential here from these team comps that are being drafted.
Definitely, and I do want to say the later, even though the Camille's going to have a nicer time into the Mudo once we get to later onto the game with maxed items, if he does go for that Essence Reaver Duskblade type of build, you just have to realize that this team that GLV is drafting is putting all the pressure on them to make the plays, to get those early kills, get those nice picks offs, and get that amazing turn fight coming into the game, because they have so much late game dominance once we get to the later stages of the game. And I think I'm going to give the same route that I gave to MAAD last game, which is GLV has a 30-minute timer. It's not as oppressive as something like Senna, where she actually just, once she gets scaling, she just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But you still have some really disgusting things coming from Gangplank barrels, especially that he's most likely going to go for that Essence Reaver into Immortal Shield build, where she has had some abhorrent about a crit, and being able to hit those 1.2k barrel crits into the face of something like the Bard or the Ezreal once we get to that stage of the game. But I do not want to count both of these teams out, and these are really going to rely on who can outplay who.
Yep. And with that, teams are locked into the climb, which means the predictions are going to start opening. So those of you at home can start placing down those tokens on who you think is going to win game number 2. Will GLV take it in 2? Or MAAD City going to come back here? That is the question of right now, because I
do have another question for
Yes.
you. Do you think this Galio, especially that they want to be looking for gameplay potential or picking off of somebody, he's going to go Predator?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past the side of GLV. I do have one incorrect pick there on the map. I have to switch the Seraphine to the Bard, but in talks of potentially taking the Predator, I don't think it's out of the question here for what we've seen out of GLV. We saw, surprisingly, last game, it was actually the Thresh that took a Shurelios. So rather than going something like a Locket or something more tanky, they were about that movement speed. They were about getting those picks. So I think paired with a Hodem's Hecarim, I would say it's definitely a possibility here.
Definitely, and I agree with you. I looked at this stream for a second, and I still am laughing a little bit. The Seraphine is banned and picked up the same time.
Surprise, surprise.
He's like, BrandZ's like, nah, homie, this is what I want to pick, and you don't get a say in it. But nevertheless, I definitely agree there's going to be some real heavy emphasis of GLV, what GLV is going to do in this early onto this game. And Hecarim can gank every single lane here, in my opinion at least. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially once we get to later into the game, or like at level 6, or for example, to dive the bot lane, especially with Rail being able to be a CC god, as well as Zaya being able to just dodge the onslaught of shadows. Or the relentless. Why am I blanking on? Anyway, I'll look it up. I'll look it up later. But I still think there's going to be heavy emphasis on this top lane. Top mid, if you're going to be able to get Camille and Galio ahead of their enemy laners, and Galio's going to have a little bit more of a hard time into the Orianna, as Orianna does have that ranged advantage over the Galio. They're still going to have some difficulty, even though they have both, quote-unquote, both favorable matchups on to the side of MAAD, because this Hecarim is going to be all over the map, while Mundo has to sit there and farm until he gets to a point where he's going to be able to really pick up his speed.
Yeah, and I mean, same sort of deal, right? Late game here for MAAD City starts to turn a little sour if GLV is taking that late, but they do have some options here. We saw Toast on the Jhin last game, what he was doing with all that damage. It was a little ridiculous. So, I mean, the fact that we now see a Galio and Hecarim there, again, great front lines there for GLV to kind of start this initiation off.
Who do you think will win, by the way?
You know what? I'm looking at the side of GLV. They have a very well put together comp. They have, very solid options for pairing up their alts and looking for some good wombos. But for some reason, somewhere deep in my gut, seeing Axum on that Gangplank, seeing Javi on something a little crazy like a Mundo, I might be swayed a little over that way, but my heart says one thing. You know what? In my heart of hearts, I'm thinking MAAD City, but in my brain, looking at what GLV has drafted, I gotta go with them, mathematically speaking. But we'll have to see how this one unfolds. Will it be the brain or the heart that succeeds in this one? We'll have to see when we hop back onto the rift, guys. We'll see you in a few short moments. Not gonna want to miss this one.
Definitely.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
Hello, welcome back to the LTS. We got GLV currently up 1-0 over MAAD City, but we do have a best of 3 series on our hands, so looking to see if MAAD City can pull a win back here and take it to game 3. But GLV have themselves a very straightforward comp here. No games, nothing crazy. They've got some great execution opportunities here and some great wombo combos to pair up.
Sorry about that. Definitely. There's some really nice wombo combos coming from GLV with the even on the onslaught of shadows coming from the hack room with the hero entrance, or even the standard Camille Camille ult, aka the Hextech Ultimatum with the hero entrance. It's gonna be a nasty combo with some nice initiation coming from the Tempered Fate from the Bard ultimate. It's going to be a very spicy game, and for sure. And it's really going to be onto the Hecarim to really punish and push in some play onto the side of Mad City. All I'm going to say is Akira. What are those summoners? Those are some aggressive summoners looking to brawl out on the top lane. What do you think of that?
Death. I think death when I see that. But it is Axum Gangplank, so he does have to deal with that. However, I think that's kind of what the goal is for Camille here, is to get her rolling in this early game, get her ahead, because Gangplank isn't going to have that big damage that we're used to seeing up until the mid game where he gets an item or two. So I think if Camille can get that advantage nice and early on, Akira's going to be sitting very, very happy. See a little bit of trading, skirmishing going across all three of these lanes.
I'm just surprised that Rel is allowing herself to be poked out like this in the early game, especially how much poke they have in the early game, but it looks like Galio's having a good time.
Yeah, he hits his level 2, he goes in for some poke damage, but Oriana's autos do surprising amount more than you would think from a mage champion, so you gotta watch out for that in this lane. One Night Owl taking a decent amount of poke as well.
Just having a good time, you know. He's just looking up for that hero punch, knocking her up a little bit, and doing a little bit of pitter-patter for sure. Maybe not the most optimal trade, especially that how heavy, like you said, how heavy those Oriana auto attacks are, especially for somebody like an AP champion. But there's some nice little dodges back and forth, though. This looks like it's going to be a gank in the middle lane.
Oh, look at this. In comes a Toem. A Hodum. I always goof the name up, but they're not goofing up any of these ganks because they're absolutely on point with that. First blood goes on over to GLV, and Akira is the one with that extra little bit of gold in his pocket. So GLV, again, starting things off right. And we were just talking about how it was necessary to get this Camille ahead in the early game, and they must have been listening to us.
Just definitely, for sure. I would definitely think that getting that Camille ahead, especially using such aggressive summoners, is the way to go. And getting, unfortunately, they did blow both summoners as they ignite and goes onto the Hecarim, but I don't think that even matters. There is look like there's going to be a regang.
He's going back again. Yes, he is. On to Axum once more. The barrel is there, but he's going to be forced to flash on out. This is just terrible for Axum. Javi's making a little pass through in the mid lane as well, too. He is looking to get some revenge from last game. He was looking for those Raptors on the side of Hodum, but they are not up to take.
Definitely, and I don't know if you saw as well, and just stated it because my my headset just blanked out for a second, so I had to put in the charger. But I'm completely fine now. But the Mundo gank came into the mid lane, didn't get anything from it, but the Hecarim's looking for a gank into the mid lane now.
Hodum is absolutely bloodthirsty this game. The flash comes out immediately. They decide we are not going to engage any further than that. I have to be a little careful because Javi is right around the corner as well too. The actual hit, one last auto from Akantos brings that Galio down to just a sliver of health, but they're not quite able to find a kill onto One Eyed Owl.
I mean, trade flash for flash is not terrible. It's something that I definitely do want to see, especially that the Hecarim can re-gank like he's been doing. He's been sacrificing a lot of his pathing, though, as you can see onto the CS differences already. Onto the jungle here is getting increasingly large.
Down a little bit of CS there, but I mean, Elise has that first assist there for his top laner, but Javi is sitting around here looking to maybe pick Akira, who I don't know how well that's going to go down with a Mundo Gangplank. Unless the Gangplank hits 6, then there's a better chance of being able to lock down Akira, but Camille, generally a super champion, which is why I see the Mundo just go for the back.
Definitely. And I just wanted to double check with you because I accidentally hit the P button and everything's falling apart for me apparently. But what
Oh,
time are you on right now?
about to hit 540, no, 550 on the dot right now.
Oh, then beautiful. I hit the exact mark where we were on previously.
Perfect, perfect. Then we are all synced up again. As you can see, you have some numbers heading towards this dragon to start it on up. That said, you're looking to get this ball rolling for themselves with an early mountain drink.
And I do want to say that this is pretty massive in my opinion, especially that the GLV Violets team is so aggressive early. They picking up that early dragon is going to put them into the backside, but
Oh goodness, yes, Hextech Ultimatum, the ignite to take on down. The corrupting pots are being chugged, but it's Akira who comes through and finds a kill. More action in the bot lane as Ares getting quite low. Toast with the Mystic Shot to find that last little bit of damage as Nutty Bar is trying to get himself on out. Toast is going to be here to join on up, but Javi here on the escort mission, saving his ADC from any further punishment.
Definitely, and there was some heavy trading in the mid lane as well, as both parties are even in health at this point, as both are very, very low. One does have the health pot ticking a little bit faster, but nevertheless, getting those early kills is all we need, and it's a great utilization of the Hecarim to put it pressure.
It's been everywhere. But I was gonna just take a look at bot. Javi's down here. The tankiness is starting to come through as he's able to pick off that Ezreal, but Akira who looking to come around, able to dodge out of that Rel engage. Really well, nicely done. But the TP, actually, I'm not too sure if Alcantos needed to use that TP there, but nevertheless, I mean, it was just an extra option there just to say, hey, back off. We're done here.
Definitely, and I do want to say though that if Akira was able, Toast was able to hit level 6 there, that in my opinion that gank would have been super doomed. But luckily, it was very well timed by the Mundo to see that Ezreal was overextended and pushing his luck a little bit too far as they find a Hecarim here.
I don't know what it is about the Blue Side Raptors this series, but it is just a hot spot for both teams. They love the Blue Side Raptors. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I mean, everybody wants chicken a little bit, homie, and I think Raptors do consume and subdue that fascination for some reason or another.
We'll have to see. If it becomes a general trend between these two teams, but take a look at this. Alcantos in a bit of trouble. Gets caught out here, pathing between the river. But in comes Branzi as well to lock him down. The sombrero on top of Alcantos, but it's not going to be enough. One-Eyed Owl is there to pick up that kill. And unfortunately, True Shot Barrage not there to get an assist.
And definitely a great pickup for Branzi, rotating over to secure that kill there. And it looks like they're going to be walking over to the Herald, picking that bad boy up. And maybe after they get this, they could be looking for a top dive here.
Yeah, that'd be nice to open up that top side of the map and especially get those plates this early on. Even though they're going to be splitting up that goal between them, that is just so ideal if they're going to be looking to do this one. But you can see the posturing of Branzi already heading up towards that that top side, as you see the lane swap already very early on between top and bot here for GLV.
There's going to be a swap out, and because of how strong this Camille is, it's going to be...
Uh-oh. The engage on Axum is actually going to be quickly turned around. The cannon barrage is down. That will be the Bard all dropped down, but it does not matter. Javi is here once again to pick up these squishies, pick up the kills, but he walks on by a Hodum, and One-Eyed Owl is here to join him. Javi going to be taken low. Javi going to go down to a sliver of health, and that will be... Oh, wait a minute! He stays alive! He's still alive! And the rest of MAAD come in to say, no thank you. You do not touch the doctor. He will stay alive, and the Hecarim is actually dropped.
What an insane amount of healing. And this is what the power of the Mundo it really is. And being able to get a disengaged type of tank there, even though he's been very hyper aggressive, it's always nice to see. But Axum gets caught out again.
Boy, Hextech Ultimatum comes down, and he does not have an ult to help him out. The Ignite as well from this Camille. We said that right early on. Death. And 3-0 now on this Camille. Akira, who is looking really, really good as we just passed by the 10-minute mark in this game.
think the two people at this point of the game are going to be this Camille. This Camille has been all over the place. Like you said, they had an early switch, but measured to go back and run straight up to kill, pick up that top wave, and pick up a kill onto Axton there, sending them further and further behind. This Mundo really has, or I would say just needs to keep up with the Camille. But I do want to say the longer this game goes, like we said, the shorter and shorter GLV Violet has to win the game. And honestly, even though that Axum's this far behind, it may be coming slowly to a close, but I do want to see when this first major team fight, which it looks like is going to be this Dragon, but maybe they look for the top lane here?
I think maybe they might send numbers up to the top lane to get this Herald on down, as Hodem coming on in right here into Axum, surrounded by 3 members here. There's nowhere for him to go. He does not have a cannon barrage ready either, so he is gonna get picked off, especially with the Bard ult there to shut off that tower temporarily. Very nicely played there by GLV Esports. But in comes the TP actually from One-Eyed Owl. He's gonna help out Toast down here, because there are some numbers. They were looking to dive on to Ezreal with these numbers, with the Mundo, but Shelly has popped up in the top lane, and that will be first turret going down here as a big fight breaking out on the bot side. Will be first turret taken out, but Toast now super low. He's gonna have to kite back through this turret, and unfortunately not able to do so. Very nicely tanked by Ares in that little dive, as 2 members of GLV will be picked off, but I guess the trade for the tower is the price to pay.
That was a really nice re-engage after initially missing her jump. Going back in and Flash getting that double stun onto both Toast and One-Eyed Owl there was a really nice extra pickup. I'm actually still a little bit questionable about that top lane play, especially that they only got 1 tower instead of 2, or opting into the second tower, especially with the Herald there, and not fighting, because that's what their champs wants to do. They've passed the level 6 mark, and they really want to make sure they really get those scrappy fights, especially that GP is practically useless in fights, and the only thing that they have is the Mundo to pressure. So in my opinion, I'm a little bit confused giving over the first 2 dragons, especially that they don't scale as well as MAAD does.
But I mean, this is it's becoming a little scary how tanky Javi is getting. He's also got the turbo chem tank, so
yes,
on top of him being tanky, he's gonna be running at you all that much faster. And I you know, we've got a lot of good engage potential on the side of GLV, but what about disengage? What are they gonna do to get out of the fact that that Mundo is gonna be looking to just get in their face? And how do they get rid of him? How do they make sure he does not become an absolute menace in the back line? As we see him again on this bot side, looking for Toast with Nutty. Is going to get hit up by the Axe. Challenging Smite comes down, and a TP as well, as the True Shot Barrage comes out. Does not matter, as Nutty Bars will find the kill for Ezreal there. Picked off twice in the past few minutes there on that bot side.
And the only other scaling they have on is Ezreal, and Mundo's really just putting the punish on Toast here for walking up to his turret without any assistance, especially if the Bard has been constantly roaming and the Camille has been constantly all over the other side of the map. It's been a really nice pickup for the Doctor himself, aka Javi, to really put Toast into his place and making sure they do not do anything.
No, he's been pretty big menace so far. You see Axum attempting to take out this top turret right now, but they are going to send Toast up there to maybe stop him, maybe not. I don't know if he's going to be able to quite get this turret. It's going to be close, but the taunt on to Orianna right now on the onslaught of shadows. Oh, the flash from Alcantos. Just barely able to get out of that one. That would have been a dead Orianna if she wasn't able to escape.
Exactly, and I'm sure. And again, I do want to put the pressure here, even though I enjoy the theory of GLV Violet's build here. But you're also, just because of how much pressure they put onto the top side here, and Ezreal either not respecting the possibility that Mundo is going to go for the dive, or he doesn't know how this champion works out into a team comp like this. But putting the Ezreal this far behind and not allowing him to farm just makes it all more onto the pressure for Akira to carry this game.
Absolutely, but I mean, he has been doing quite well on that Camille so far. 3-0-1, 132 farms. So he's not made it an easy time for Axum in the top lane, but you have to definitely contribute that early game to Hodem being up there for those early roams. What is going on the bot side right now? One-Eyed Owl and Ares just gonna say a little hello. They just leave the bushes respectively. Not much they can do to each other, but that was, yeah, just a little pass by there. But we do have an Ocean Drake coming up on the map in 20 seconds, and the ping's starting to come down towards the spot side of the map. We're definitely going to see something coming through here because there is a lot of alts up and ready to go.
Definitely, this is going to be the big fight, and even though it is, and especially that this is an Ocean Soul, it's going to be very scary if this Mundo's ever available, but it looks like
Odom already losing a third of his health bar. TP's coming through from the gangplank onto the backside here, so Axum is here for this fight. Cannon Barrage is ready as well too. All the alties are ready to go at Shockwave.
Let's see if this is the Akira show. This is going to be him and his game, especially, respectively.
Oh, he's on the... Let's see it. That's going to be the Bard ult down onto Akantos. And in goes Akira. He's trying to look for that pick on the backside. A big Hextech ultimatum comes down, followed by the heroic entrance. That's exactly what GLV were looking. But Akira is actually going to get picked out there by Javi. One-Eyed Owl down to go next. And Bard, Branzy trying his best to hold on for his team. He gets a stun down, but unfortunately, this squishy little Bard is going to get just picked off here. Popped there by Axum. And that is the ace at 17 minutes?
And that's what I'm saying. Even though they set this GP so far behind, look, he just picked up 5 assists with 2 extra kills. And he's or 3 kills, and he's just so far ahead at this point, or back into the game, I should say, that all that pressure onto him is all gone to waste as the CS is already back to even, and this Mundo is just so far ahead.
Yeah, this has just been pretty crazy here so far for MAAD City, and they are already at soul point here at 18 minutes. Ridiculous.
Definitely. Anyway, sorry. So for Axum, he's got out here again.
Uh-oh, almost. He's gonna have to use the flash there, but luckily he does survive. Right now, MAAD City up about quick maths, about 4K gold at this point. And that's looking really good for them. But again, this is only going to get scarier if they're allowed to scale. So GLV needs to be making a play sometime soon, especially when those alts come back up.
Sure, and it's going to be very scary. As you can see, they try to do what they thought it was the correct play, which is diving into the Orion and the Zion into the backline and really put the pressure on those 2 champions. But as you can see, the only person that was threatened into that chokehold was the Oriana, while the Zaya was just able to use her form and able to pull them out and reel them back in, just setting up a nice choke point for herself and the Mundo to walk back into the Camille, as the Camille is the only person ahead on the enemy team, or on Glade Violet's team, excuse me. And that's just a huge problem at that point, especially that GP has a sudden hyper influx of gold that he was able to buy 2 items or an item and a half right off the bat, which is absolutely phenomenal. And their team is just already back on track to really set this game in stone.
It's been really clean so far out of the side of MAAD City, even though there is these big wombos that they have to be aware of. Mundo has just gone where he's pleased so far. He's 5-0-7 right now. He's got 2 full items and tier 2 boots, so you said that Mundo is going to be, not too scary in these early games. Once he gets some items, well, then he becomes the true form of Mundo, and we are seeing it in real time. Right now, not too sure what the answer to that Mundo is going to be.
And Toast is just so far behind, and I don't think there's any real, fathomable reason he can get back into this game unless he gets some massive influx of gold, getting the shutdowns on the Zai and the Muno, or even the GP at this point, and getting that influx back into the Ezreal. I don't think he's ever going to be able to do much into this game until he just catches back up somehow, maybe on his second or third item, especially that he went mana immune very early on to the game, which isn't bad at all. But because he's not adding any extra damage like a Triforce, it's really just stunting his damage at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely an unfortunate place to be. I mean, we know Ezreal won't be online for another 5 or so minutes, but it makes it more hard when he is not given the opportunity to do so. However, GLV looking to make a play here as the Onslaught of Shadow comes out, the taunt down onto Axum. The TP is going to be answered, but in comes the Cannonball Barrage, and the response from the members of MAAD City. They are here. They're ready to go. Ares gets locked down by the Bard, but in comes the heroic entrances. GLV maybe going to be turning things around. The TP's coming through as well too. Akira Hugh looking to go into this backline as the Hextech Ultimatum comes down and Alcantos is shut down. Great turnaround so far from GLV, but Mundo's in the backline doing way too much damage. And look at this Galio just shredded apart by Nutty Bars. Shutdown goes on over to Akira Hugh, but there's going to be the Feather Storm. Nutty Bars ripping those feathers apart. Toast goes down, but so does Nutty Bars. And now it's just a 2v1 at this point. Axum is going to try to get away, but he is looking super dead. Akira almost gets hit by those barrels. And Branzy chasing down Gangplank. I don't think he can do this by himself. It's a little risky for Akira to go too ham on this, but are they going to do it? I think they're going to do it, because this just shows how ballsy the side of GLV is. They get the shutdown, they get the ace. End up being 4 kills there for Akira overall.
Oh, man, that's a huge step up for Akira as the Mundo went 1v4, willing to see how much potential he has onto the rest of the team there. Really just setting Akira up as he just brought up a straight Sterix gauge just right off the bat there. It was a little bit unfortunate that Ezreal didn't pick up anything after that, but he does go for the Divine Sunder as the pickup here, which isn't too bad at all. But Branzy
in a bit of trouble. He gets the shockwave hit, but Big Shield is going to be coming out. However, this is Soul Point right now, and if MAAD City are able to secure it, don't know about that one. Ares is in the back line trying to CC up these members of GLV coming through, but Branzy getting quite low. That was a nice Bard ult from Branzy to do it, but look at Akira in this back line. Javi goes on over the wall. Akira is now having to deal with a bunch of members of MAAD City. He dashes and dives and gets himself on out of there as GLV gonna stop this soul. They pick up their first dragon of the game, but it will deny the soul going on over to MAAD City.
I'm really surprised that Javi didn't die there. He walked into 4 people once again as Akira was on the back line there, and he just walked in the face of death multiple times and was able to get out with an extraordinary amount of healing, including smiting the dragon to walk his way back into the game. But nevertheless, there was a little bit of fun excitement there, but unfortunately those two did not meet for the brawl. But nevertheless, I would say that this game is coming to the point where both of these teams are going to be the closest as they are ever going to be, even though MAAD City is up 2 gold.
I'm just the balls on Akira it's insane. He simply backed in that bush while Axum was beside him farming. I mean, does not care. He's 9-1-1 on Camille. This is looking pretty scary. As he's going in, he takes out this bot tower. Finally, that will go down, and immediately jumping onto Axum. Look at the damage coming out. They might both be level 14, but the Ignite is there as well, too. In comes Javi. Cannonball Barrage as well, too. Akira is going to have to back on out of this one. Hopefully, he does not get hit by a machete there, but he is able to survive as he pings onto the Baron.
They really want to force the Baron there. It's like there's a second time where Javi went onto the bot lane onto Akira, and he basically forcing his presence.
He's trying the Hextech Ultimatum there, and the flash out of Axum to stay alive. This is all he's doing. He's keeping the attention of MAAD City down on this bot side as much as he possibly can. And the Baron's getting taken. Look at this. This is amazing by Akira. TP actually coming through.
TP coming back through, but they put so much pressure as they got this Baron so low. If they pick up this Baron, this is going to be an awesome turnaround. The Rel.
Ares is going in the backline. Branzy getting quite low, but in comes the heroic entrance from One-Eyed Owl. He will get the taunt on the Nutty Bars, but it doesn't matter because Zaya is doing so much damage. Look at her ripping apart these members of GLV. Double kill for Toast, but Axum is there to clean up that Ezreal. It ends up being a 2-for-4 situation, so really unfortunate there. GLV lose 4 members and don't even pick up the Baron.
I am really surprised that they didn't finish off the Baron. There was around 3k HP. They could have continued burning it before they really had a position to walk in. They could have just walked into the inside the Baron pit here to really force it out, especially that most of the key targets could get out there for free, especially with the Bard portal. So I'm super surprised to see Hecarim get off that Baron to try to go for the one shot onto the Zaya or the Orianna. Unfortunately, not getting either and trading. I think it was what was it, Gerf? 3 for 3? Was it 3 for 2?
It was 4 members of GLV that dropped there, unfortunately, and
wow.
two members of Mad City.
So even worse than I thought.
Even worse. And now we do have another dragon on the map in 1:30. Again, Soul Point is where Mad City are sitting, and they're looking to lock this one down, looking to get that Ocean Drake. Oh my God, Ocean Soul on Mundo. Oh God.
Yes.
Oh God, Paige. That is what my nightmares are fueled by. This is what keeps small children awake at night. This is the scariest thing you could possibly imagine. And you see how much Javi is healing up. He's got a Spirit Visage as well too. You put an Ocean Drake on him, he's going to be absolutely unkillable, but he doesn't have it quite yet. A bunch of members of GLV waiting in this bush. The onslaught of shadows come through, but a big Tempered Fate there from Branzy does not matter. Look at the damage coming through from both sides. Big Cannon Barrage is still being popped in that backside. Akira trying to deal with Javi right now, but look at GLV. Toast is going to get picked off. Javi will eventually drop as... Wow, this is very close back and forth. Branzy trying to make it out alive. Ares is on the chase. Alcanto's coming through the portal, but Axum's going to get stopped by that Q. Branzy trying his best to make it out. Run away, Bard! Run away! Oh, what a fight. This is so back and forth. Dragon up in 15 seconds, and none of the jungles are on the map.
No, so they're gonna try, even though they even ping the dragon there to try to force down the dragon. Bard is trying to rotate over as fast as possible, and hopefully Akira is not gonna get kicked off here. But like you said, like I said, it's the Akira show at this point.
Shockwave's up. Akira's gonna get picked off. That is not what you want as GLV right now. Akira, one of those biggest players there. A ton of gold going over Arcantos, and now this Dragon being started up, but Branzy on in. He's going to get the slow, but not the stun. Does not matter because Toast is there with the shutdown, but in comes Nutty Bard. Look at the Tempered Fate they found. Nutty Bard's Featherstorm comes through, but the knockup is there. This is a big fight coming through. Nutty Bars is going to get low, but Toast is there. He takes out the Rel. Nutty Bar still on this backside there, able to take out the Galio, but Toast goes over the wall. He's able to find the Zaya, and now he has to deal with this Mundo. Branzy is quite low as well. Axum is going to get pinned to the wall, challenging Smite down onto Toast. Both these members of GLV are just going to get picked off, as that will be the soul coming through from Mad City.
Which is absolutely huge. Even though there's grievous wounds on every single character on the enemy team, it's just, I don't think it matters anymore. Even though I'm putting a grim face onto GLV Violet there, they just didn't push themselves far enough and ahead enough to get to the point where they can just win scrappy fights like that. And even though Akira is trying his best at this point, as he gotten a metric ton of support to try to carry this game, it's looking more and more bleak as the Mundo's getting take here. GP's already back online in the game. Zai is being able to control the field, including with Orianna and Rel, to really lock down their engage coming from Onslaught of Shadows and the Heroic Entrance. And at this point, I don't know if GLV Violet has it in them. Maybe if they pick off the Mundo in some type of random off-skirt fight where they're able to like 5v1 take them down, then I would say there's going to be a possibility, but right now it's looking grim.
Yeah, it's not looking good for GLV this game. MAAD City have taken this one back very, very strong. They have the Ocean Soul on their side, and Javi is being an absolute menace to the side of GLV, but we'll see, because, I mean, Akira is doing his best to try and hold us together. If he can stay alive in these fights, that's going to be massive for them, but right now he's on the other side of the map with no TP, and this Baron is getting started up by MAAD City right now.
And at this point, I think this is the final fight. Akira does not have TP here, and he's on the other side of the map as Baron's just getting pushed down, and that's his star figure.
Bird Fate comes through. Let's see if they can do anything about it, as the Cannon Barrage is again going to just keep these members of GLV away. Hodem trying to go for the steal, but he's just going to get picked off. One-Eyed Owl about to join him. He goes in way too ham. GLV trying to make something happen, trying to go for the miracle play, but it's not going to be possible, as MAAD pick themselves up the Baron and are going to look just to go for their final push, or semi-final push, and then go for a back reset, do the rest. You know the deal, but this is just looking so good for MAAD City.
Yeah, at this point they scaled. They hit the 30-minute mark, like I was stating before. I gave them 30 minutes to win the game. If you can't do it, you're gonna lose. Mundo's just absolutely humongous, making the game almost impossible. They didn't pick up any early dragons with such an aggressive comp they had in the early on of the game. But either way, I would say this game is just falling apart.
Yeah, this one is looking to be done very soon, as those Baron minions just marching on in. Actually, just one cannon left. We might have another fight coming through here. True Shot Barrage will hit. Javi is getting a little low, but if that's the ult from the Mundo there, is see him healing up so much. Galio getting a little aggressive. This
Full HP again.
Unfortunate. Yeah, look at Javi. Look how much healing this guy has. It's absolutely ridiculous. Nether Inhibitor is going to go down. Both top and mid are gone from the base of GLV. This is not looking good for them, as MAAD City are just going to back in the faces of... Oh my god. The disrespect. Backing right in front of the base, right in front of the faces of Hodem. They're... Wow. Wow, let's just say I do not have the confidence to do that in the game.
It's just he put everything into that. That was his last hurrah, as they, even if you have the chat on, them talking to each other, talking about how close that actually was, where Ohotam was just unable to find those picks onto MAAD City, and it looks like this game's going to be closing off from a 1-for-1 as they go for the tutorial style triple in him.
Yep, very clean game out of MAAD City so far, and with this Mundo late game, not sure how they're going to be able to defend against this final pushes. See Hecarim kind of floating around the side looking for this, as TP's actually coming through from Axum. This might be a little aggressive this close in, but they do not matter. Kira Who gets made him on the backside. That will be the heroic entrance popped on top of that, but Nutty Bars around on the backside of this fight. He's just flinging out the feathers, but Javi gonna get quite low. Akira Who, he is gonna get picked off here, and MAAD City find themselves a massive win. They are stomping on this final inhibitor within GLV's base, and just looking to end this one off as Alcantos there. He is stuck against the wall there by Branzi. Oh no, but you can't take the tunnel through the Nexus. Oh no.
He's
Unable.
taking the tunnel through the next game. That's all.
He's on the highway to hell, but this one is going to get finished off here by MAAD City. They're on the Nexus. They're finishing off these towers. The Shockwave is through onto Toast, as that will be the ace and the game.
Indeed, that was a very heavy back and forth, but there was a huge early advantage coming from Javi. Getting up those early dragons as a late game team comp is always nice to hear. Especially RNG rolling those ocean dragons was absolutely phenomenal. And all I'm going to say is I'm excited to see what's going to be going on in Game 3. What do you think there's going to be some changes in?
Honestly, that bot lane, the Xayah coming out, we do have side selection coming through for MAAD City this game, so we'll see if they opt to potentially pick something up like that again, because Nutty Bars was really good on that Xayah this game. He was popping off. You can see the damage there. Quite significant, but, I mean, really across the board there. 20,000 damage from Javi's Mundo. There's no way that thing gets let through again. That was a little ridiculous. There's a reason why MAAD City saved that as their last pick here to counter in. I don't think anybody saw it coming, but currently right now, Mundo is popping up in games. I did play with one earlier this week, and it is ridiculous how oppressive, like you said, before this game started, a Mundo can be in this current patch. So I can't see that one getting through again, but we'll have to see what sides that MAAD City decides to opt for Game 3.
Definitely. I'm looking for either two really heavy scaly comps, or if they want to go for something that Wombo combo early, heavy early engaged team fights, they want to look for those early dragons. They just gave away too much resources for free without a major downside for, like, they were trying to get like on the other side of the map, but they didn't even get, they only got one turret and a kill that was basically 60 gold at that point.
Yeah, but it was honestly really good stuff out of MAAD City. Again, we see that early aggressiveness coming out of them and going for those early dragons, picking up the soul, and I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better soul this game, especially for Javi's Mundo. That healing, especially we saw it at the end of the last game. He was down to under a quarter health, and we took our eyes away from him for maybe 5 seconds, and he was back up to full. So it's insane. It's insane, but I don't think it's unmanageable. I just don't think GLV had the right answers for a Mundo, but at that point, that's why MAAD City saved it for the last pick. So instead of risking that Mundo coming through again, might as well just get it off the board.
Exactly, that's what I'm gonna say as well, and I'm excited for this Game 3 monster of a series.
Yep, we are gonna start that player of the game poll, so that will be up in a few seconds here. So make sure to vote for who you think deserves player of the game. But when we come back, we'll be hopping into our third and final game of the night. Just a heads up to those of you looking towards the podcast tonight, that will be delayed because we are going to a Game 3. So after we are done the games here for LTS, we'll be moving into that. So just a reminder that the Let's Talk Legends will be after this series has completed. But hell of a series we have on our hands, same page. Can't wait to see what happens, but we will be back in 5 minutes. Keep getting those votes in for your player of the game.
Different dreams between us and ocean. I look at the stars, see the rising sun. Different roads on the one highway. Still humming for you forever, every bad day. It will never change. Malgré la distance, tu es toujours là. Rien ne change, on ne s'oublie pas. Different dreams between us and ocean. I look at the stars, see the rising sun. Different roads on the one highway. Still you there for me, even miles away. It will never change, never change. Love knows no distance. It will never change, never change. It will never change. No distance can break us apart. No distance can break us apart. Made us stronger, made us stronger, made us stronger, made us stronger. No distance too close to my heart. No distance
Tu es toujours là, rien ne change, on ne s'oublie pas.
All right, we gotta go fast. We gotta go fast here. Player of the game is not Branzy. It's the Mundo. We were taking care of stuff, but we got pick a band going for game number 3 already. So let's just go there. Okay.
Yeah, teams were a little impatient and didn't want to wait to help a brother out, but that's okay. This game is hype anyways, and maybe Gurf will have to drink some water and get himself ready for this game because we already all. If you don't mind me asking, what are you drinking tonight while we are going through this game 3?
You know what? Maybe we save that for the podcast afterwards. We'll you gotta ask me there. Wait a minute, I just wrote it down. I was writing notes for that and I actually wrote down the drink of choice.
See, I got you.
Oh my God, you did get me. You did. But we got bands flying through and through here. Camille, Zaya, Heckram, Gon, Nar, Skarner, Udyr from the side of GLV. But guess who makes it through once more? It's going to be the Seraphine.
Ah, man. I gotta recognize the Seraphine, bro. I know Matt didn't do, or if he does pick Seraphine here, this is my Pentacue's lagging once more. But I'm just very interested if they pick the Seraphine first pick again.
Well, this is wait a minute. This is game 1. Hold on, I'm just gonna a little flashback there. No, it is not game 1. Because now we've got a Mundo showing up here for GLV. Gonna see if they can steal that one away from MAAD City, away from Javi, especially after what he did with it last game.
Definitely, it was very scary, especially into the team comp that he was set up to. I'm very interested that they are picking up, or at least hovering the Mundo, which they do lock in. That's really crazy to me. I feel like Mundo's very accessible if you have a team that can put the pressure on him into the jungle, especially that he gets a little bit low during his clears if he's not careful. But nevertheless, I'm interested in what they're going to back up with it, but especially that, like you saw from last time, they didn't ban the Senna again. And Aphelios brought down to the table. Now, this is a game and a half. I don't know what's happening in this draft at all. What a good pickup here would be a Gangplank at this point. Something that had, because Aphelios hates AoE slows because it's just how his champion wants to go is to move in and out of his attack range 24/7 all the time, and that's where he's very enabled. But nevertheless, I'm very interested on what they're going to do for the third pick.
I mean, that does show their hand. They're essentially mid, bot, and support at this point, but that does deny the Thresh from Brand Z this game, as it was the Senna Thresh there from that bot side of GLV in this first game. But Orianna, the hot pick of tonight, been flipping back between One-Eyed Owl and Alcantos throughout this series, so we'll get to see it back on the side of GLV as we get to see some more bans coming through right now.
Now they're just blanket chopping the Orion here, which isn't bad at all necessarily, just how the champion is played out, but it can be punished by something that's longer range, something like a Xerath, a Vel'Koz, or any real artillery mage. But I don't presume we're going to be seeing something from that coming from Alcantos. We'll probably see something more of the battle that we've seen from most LCS players would be picking is something like the Syndra, or even some other control mages like the Azir.
Yep, Lilia next to meet the bench, as well as possibly some more jungles here that GLV do not want to see. They're still going to ban some away from Javi, but still need a support and a top laner over on the side of GLV. I would assume they're probably going to pick up their support here as R5 and save that top laner to counter Axum up with Akira, because Akira has been pretty on point this series tonight.
These two top laners have been battling back and forth for the power up to the top lane, and you can see what they can do, what the champions can handle, and how they try to improve themselves. But nevertheless, I'm really excited to see. I'm looking for Mad City right now after this ban goes through and Blood picks presumably their support here. I'm excited to see some type of heavy AP mid laner that to match with the Aphelios, so the top laner here can probably go into something like the Ornn, or some type of disengaged type of tank to match the Mundo.
And I know there was a few passionate casts this week about Aphelios, but how do you feel about Aphelios here in the LTS? I
mean, I think Aphelios is fine, honestly. Like, especially that the little nurse here or there that went on to Kaisa Samira. But I feel like if Aphelios is really good if the team works around him, and if you don't and you let him do whatever he wants at or if you let him kind of be by himself, he's probably the worst pick you can ever pick. And the reason why I think Aphelios is a little bit difficult, especially even for something like the LTS, for example, is if he isn't Taric.
Do it. Oh, look at him. Oh my goodness. Taric locked here.
Man, what are they gonna pick up? Because so the reason why you pick Aphelios Thresh is to hyperscale the Aphelios with some early picks coming from Thresh hooks, especially that he's given an extra flash with Lantern and a little bit of peel from the Thresh player himself. The only problem is that Thresh as a support in general does not scale very well once we get into the later parts of the game. Even though he does have that infinite passive with souls, it's still something that he doesn't quite quite utilized for proficiencies, like some other infinitely stacking champions like Senna is. But the GP, man, now that's terrain altering. That's a nice slow. I think Glaive should have probably picked up GP and really rounded off this comp there, especially make Aphelios really shake to his knees. And I think the best way I'm jumping all around here in the draft because I'm trying to process what to say, because both these drafts is saying I want to scale to late and this is how I'm going to do it. But I'm trying to figure out key points. Gragas is interesting. So that's Gragas jungle.
Yeah, that'll be Javi taking the Gragas into the jungle here. And then the comfort pick Gangplank for Axum. But now we get to see the counter pick. What Glaive Royal are going to have to answer towards this Gangplank. Curious what it's going to be.
I'm curious too, because they can pick the Camille here and be fine with it.
Camille is gone.
Oh yeah, the Camille is gone. I don't even realize why I even said that. I didn't even look at the bans.
It was first banned. It was so long ago that technically we didn't even see this ban on stream because it was gone before we even got there.
That's an Akira special. That's an Akira special.
I am so down. I'm so down with the Vladimir pick for Akira. This is it's gonna be gross. I'm so excited to see this.
I actually think this is the best draft we've seen from both of these players. They're both very mid to late game oriented, very stable, does well and even in their matchups. They both have some type of disengage. The problem is who's going to initiate, and who's initiating first is probably going to have the disadvantage. Now, I think Glaive is going to have a little bit of the of the encouragement to have the initiation coming on, especially with Tarek pressing that ulti button, just running in. Even though I really enjoy seeing Akira on Vladimir, I just have a hard time feeling like Vladimir is going to have a good time, especially that Glaive Violet's team, or Glaive Royal. Is their name Glaive Royal now?
Glaive Royal Esports, yes. And if you want to hop down into spectator mode too, we can
I'm so sorry.
Get these going, unless the new mid laner of Glaive casting and playing, that would actually be like really ridiculously
yeah, I got this. I'm gonna do mid laner.
I'm gonna go hop into the Glaive call, play with them real quick.
Yeah. I think they need me, honestly. I play a mean Oriana, as an AD carry player of this season. Man. Anyway, I just feel like the Vlad is a little bit of a sticky pick there, because the Vladimir wants to go in while the Senna wants to move away. And those are going to be your two main carries that are going to be fighting with each other for control. Senna can walk forward, don't get me wrong, but if he walks just a smidge too forward until she starts getting her soul stacks, it's just very difficult to play around. And both Aphelios and Senna have a little bit of a hard time with champions like Gangplank, who interacts with you without interacting with you.
Yeah, but I think the key thing that MAAD City need to keep in mind this game is healing reduction across the board. Vladimir, Senna, Mundo. All of those combined, that's a hell lot of, and even Tarek too. Tarek has healing in his kit. That is 4 champions here that are going to be healing up like crazy. It is going to be unfortunate, but you do need to pay that grievous wounds tax this game, or else you are going to be having an extremely tough time dealing with any of these champions come mid-game.
And definitely, especially that he didn't pick up an enchanter with the Aphelios, which is, in my opinion, the best support Aphelios can have. Like, if he picked something up like that Seraphine into the bot lane and picked another mid laner there, Seraphine would just build Chemtech Putrefier, where he just presses her W to give shielding to everybody, which applies everybody for grievous wound stacks for 3 seconds. Would have been absolutely phenomenal here. I think she's still gonna build it, but I just have difficulty because she kind of has to build full AP here. I don't think there's any way or ifs, ands, or buts about it. Especially they showed the support pick so early, where it was your third pick with the Aphelios, instead of having them guess where the Seraphine was going. It's just going to be, in my opinion, a little bit more, I guess, difficult to find Grievous Wounds, like you said, for the Grievous Wound tax. I think now everybody has to pick it up instead of just getting the Seraphine to pick it up and applying it to everybody.
This is definitely looking like a couple strong comps, like you said, but I think, again, key here is stopping all the healing that is going to be coming through on the side of GLV, but there's some definitely good pick potential here from the side of MAAD City. Seraphine all combined with the Cannon Barrage, and of course Agragas go on ham into that. That can really set you up for some nasty stuff. Of course, Ares has himself a hook champion as well too. We saw him on the Blitzcrank last week doing so much work. So much work for his team. So to not only deny that Thresh against Branzy, but also have it for yourself, I think that is going to be fantastic for MAAD City. But again, like you said, Akira is on one of his mains there with the Vladimir. Hodem takes that Mundo away from Javi this game. Actually, they just switched champions this game, both the junglers. But it is Toast who is holding that Senna once more, and we saw what he did with it game 1. With all the healing that is around him, that's going to be really tough again to get towards Toast, knowing that Branzy is going to be sitting beside him and paired up with him as the Taric the entire game.
Definitely, and I want to say for sure, even though Thresh is super good with Aphelios, I think Thresh has bones to pick with his entire team, and Vladimir has the same way, but I think a little bit less. Mostly because you can still place the Dory Ball onto the Vladimir when he goes under into his blood pool into the middle of the enemy team, as well as you can Senna and Taric ulti him as well. So there's a lot of connections you can add to the Vladimir and make sure he is nice and healthy and has a lovely time into the backline of MAAD City. Nevertheless, there's going to be a lot. I think there is going to be some middling with the junglers where they can kind of alternate reality or just like fix reality to a specific way. And I'm wondering if they're going to be focusing top here or bot here.
Yeah, let's thinking about. I would think the focus might be put into Akira and getting this Vladimir absolutely insanely ahead. You know, Senna can play super safe in the early game. This is a side point too. You mentioned it earlier, but the fact that Senna is able to play so safe in the early game and then turns into a late game monster, I think this is the goal here for GLV Royal. Get past the 30 minutes marks. You have Senna, you have Vladimir, you have a Mundo. That is hella scaling that you have right there. Just play safe. Go even into this late game, and I think they're going to be golden, but we know MAAD City loves to go for that early game rush. However, I'm not seeing a lot of early game power coming out here, especially, you know, the fact that we don't see Gangplank and Aphelios really come online until they have a couple items under their belt. So I think in terms of draft, I got to go with GLV Royal on this one. They've got some really solid scaling, really solid healing, and a great few sources to make sure that their team stays safe in these fights.
And also I do want to say as well, as the only real AP source that MAAD has is the Seraphine. Well, if the Seraphine is taken out early, even though Gragas has some type of AP scalings and he can go full AP if he really wanted to, but I truly think going tank is probably the best option, especially if you want to be, fighting with this, grappling with this Mundo a little bit, especially that he wants to be running around, healing, walking away, healing back up to full HP, walking back at you. It would be really proficient for you to make sure you have enough HP to, grapple with the Mundo a little bit. Nevertheless, I'm super excited to see what we're going to be looking into this game, how this Aphelios plays, how the Senna plays, and what Akira versus Axum are on today, especially that they're on their basically main two champions, in my opinion.
Well, it took us 5 weeks, but we finally get to see our first Game 3 same page. Make sure to stick around. We are going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll be heading on to the Rift to see who is going to be winning this best of 3. Will it be MAAD City? Will it be GLV? We'll see you in a few to decide who wins this series.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like them, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come with me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty
Hello and welcome back to week 5 of the LTS Premade. We are finally seeing the game 3 here on stream. MAAD City versus GLV. This is the deciding match right here. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of MAAD City here. A little level 1 shenanigans, and they're going up towards a player who they know is going to try and get that early game lead, who they know is going to be a late game menace. I think they see him. They've spotted him out, but similarly Akira has seen them too, so he gets the hell out of there.
That was very smart for Akira to not stand into that tri-bush where you feel like you're safe, but you actually truly aren't, where they can get a lot closer to you than they initially could. Nevertheless, they got a nice ward out onto the bot side of the map to see if the Gragas starts red side or blue side. Most likely he's going to start blue side, and it looks like both junglers are going from top to bot here and probably going to be focusing on this bot lane. And this bot lane is going to be, even though you can make the Senna very safe, especially once you hit level 6, it's going to be a very, very fighty comp going into the level 3 mark.
You see the wards that GLV were able to put down as well too, so they got some early game vision. They know this Gragas is going to be starting blue side, but you can see the aggression already coming out of this bot side. Missing stun down onto Ares. Poke coming through between these ADCs. Toast again being super aggressive. These ADCs have been pretty on fire tonight with in terms of the bot lanes in general. They've just been performing really, really well both sides, but there can only be one winner at the end of this game. So we'll have to see how this one unfolds. We're only 2 minutes into this one. Pretty tame in terms of what we've seen so far tonight.
Definitely, and you can also say that they were putting a little bit of a mind and thoughts into the mid lane there, especially when they locked in the Orianna pick. Seraphine is that type of artillery mage you're going to be looking for, though they're going to have to spend a little bit extra gold instead going for those Xyz on the main champions, like against the Vladimir, like against the Moon, like against the Senna, like against the Taric, where they can optimally get a Moonstone on the Taric as well, but the Senna damage.
One-Eyed Owl is in a terrible position. Over the wall comes Javi, the flash, the belly bump. That was so clean from MAAD City. They find themselves first blood.
Really nice pickup onto the Gragas there, going for the E flash, getting that max range belly flop into One-Eyed Owl's face and getting first blood for them. I want to say this is already looking scrappy, and I like it already, as Mundo's kind of pushed out of what he wanted to do here, as I don't think they know, in my opinion, how to play Mundo Jungle a little bit, because once a Mundo Jungle does 3 camps, goes back to buying D-Shield, and then goes for another 3 camps, because look at how low HP he is.
Yeah, Ahodem has to get the hell out of here. He's going to get the slow, but Ares in. Luckily, the death sentence is dodged, and he's going to throw a little WP. Him out there. He is very lucky to have walked out with his life on that one.
They're definitely having fun with this game. That's all I can say about it. They're throwing up emotes, they're enjoying themselves, and that's what you want after the end of the game anyways. But I already know this is going to be a banger of the match, and both sides had the chance to win this series and take it over and get a little bragging rights, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Glaive, you know what? A win tonight here for Glaive would be massive. You know, coming into week 5 being 1-3 and able to take down MAAD City, who is 3-1, sitting at the top of our leaderboards. That would be a huge win for them tonight. So they've been looking really good tonight. I mean, like, compared to how they looked week 1 as a team, week 2 against UAE as a team.
Yeah.
This looks like a completely new squad. I mean, the synergy has increased. You can see they are working very well as a team, as a cohesive unit. But on top of that too, the drafts have been looking really, really good for them. And they definitely have been giving MAAD a run for their money tonight.
Definitely, and I'm glad to hear it too, because we've only gotten 2-0 games. Maybe they're not all stomps, but they were still only getting 2-0s, and this is the first series we've gotten 3 game series, and I'm very excited to see and hear it, especially that there's some battle in the mid lane.
Yep, Alcanto's taking a chunk of damage, but Ahodem is here. The axe will come down. The slow is going as well, but he's not going to be long for this world. He keeps on getting slowed down, and he will be taken out by One-Eyed Owl.
I'm really surprised how much effort was going into the mid lane here. Both the junglers had really nice ganks, both using flash or forcefully using flash to try to get out or try to secure the kill, which they both do. And it's just a slaughter back and forth for both of the mages in the mid lane.
I have 2 things to point out to you. One, we see a Dark Seal on One-Eyed Owl. Apparently working so far, which is pretty good. But the other is the Cull on the Vladimir, and that, I believe, is the first time I have ever seen that. What do you think, Premade?
So actually, I like the Cole here, honestly, because you're going to be going to a farming lane anyways, and the junglers have already showed, just by if they know the pathing of this, or have seen the pathing from the enemy junglers, they already know both of them are going to be focusing bot. So picking up the Cole here, getting that extra 300 gold for practically for free, I think is the right call anyway, and it helps the farm a little bit. Just like giving that extra AD a little bit to give a little bit damage onto his attacks is always really nice, and I believe it is the right call, especially that you don't want to have the Vladimir TP early, especially that it might hinder your performances. But it looks like they're going to be a trying fight here.
Let's see it. Javi was starting it up. He's not going to be able to find the belly bump onto Branzy, but the hook does land. Javi's getting low. One-Eyed Owl is going to be taking him out. Branzy also gonna have to back out as well too, as a big cannon barrage is coming through, ripping through everybody here. But oh my god,
a little close there.
Dragon was taken back by One-Eyed Owl, and now Axum is gonna be getting low. He's gonna have to flash on out. Don't know if they're quite done with him yet. Alcanto's there to get the slow, but the stun from Toast. Look at the damage here. One-Eyed Owl on a killing spree as he's able to take out Axum.
And I just want to say, Axum used his cannon barrage there and TP in both blows, and burned both sums there, and it was still an absolute slaughter. A 5 for, was that it was a 4 for 0 or 5 for 0? Or 5 for, yeah. I think it was a 4 for 0 there.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody died on the side of GLV, and yes, GLV now at 5-1 on the map. That was straight cleanup for them. Plus an Infernal Drake. We got Ocean coming up next, which Mountain maybe question mark. I tried to predict it first in game 1 and I didn't get it right.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, homie. It's all RNG, the second dragon, honestly, but it was a good prediction nonetheless. I would have probably guessed it as well. or tried to at least.
He's fishing for a hook. Oh, almost able to find Toast, but not quite.
I do want to say that fight was very explosive, and getting that early kills onto the Ori and onto the Mundo there is just accelerating to the point where Mundo already has an 8-minute Chemtech already, or Chemtank, excuse me, already, where he's ready to run some people down. And a 1-item Mundo is probably one of the scariest, and then a 2-item Mundo is just, he's gonna take a million tower shots, and it looks like they're going to be going after the bot lane here.
Oh, we see the aggressiveness in Aries, and Nutty Bar's immediately turning around. They flash to get away from that Taric sound, but they could immediately pick up by the body language that GLV was putting down as soon as Taric and Toast started to step up. They were like, okay, something fishy's here. We're gonna get the hell out before we get jumped on, and rightfully so. They make the right call to back on off.
Exactly, and unfortunately there was no pressure to freeze there, and maybe there's going to be more. If Toast holds this freeze here, it looks like he is going to be doing, Affiliates is going to be in another danger zone, where Mundo...
Welcome to the danger zone, and he comes. He's trying to get the Taric taunt on to him, but Senna lock on down onto Aries. A big ult from Toast as well, too. As a Hodem gonna be popping his ulti as well too. The cast comes through to try and get this Mundo back chilling, so might as well slow him down, but he's healing up so damn much. Javi gonna be locked down as well too, as Toast pumping out the damage. A couple more autos will do it, but he'll just take a sip from the flask and heal up just enough to get himself back to safety. But still.
Taking that was a great juke. It was an over toss on the cast there, so it wasn't guaranteed, and it was enough to where the Mundo was able to juke away and live from that exchange.
Oh, cannon barrage onto Akira, who is getting quite low. Why would you stop? You were out, Akira. He turns back to try and get a Q, but he's just going to get shot in the face.
Man, special shot in the face.
It's true.
True, there is no false about it. I'm actually interested in what Akira is going here. I think he's going to go for the Rocket Belt here because Might Harvester is not the play ever. Not anymore after they nerfed it multiple times over again. But nevertheless, it looks like Seraphine is forcing herself onto the full AP build, which she has to at this point, because otherwise where's the AP damage going to be coming from? And they can just itemize full AD, and the Mundo will be extra happy for that, including the Taric. At this point, I would probably say it's looking a little rough right now, even though there's a really nasty solo kill coming from Axum there onto Akira. It's looking slowly but surely a little bit more and more rough, because I believe Glaive Violet, or Glaive in general, is outperforming themselves and drafted a great draft.
Oh, absolutely. They've got themselves such a solid team comp here. And we saw what happens when Amundo gets scaling and gets into that mid to late game with all these items, how much healing he's going to be doing. But you can see already, he's got his full mythic item on already. He's got Merc Dredge, which is going to stop him from being slowed. And on top of that, you have an Orianna with 8 stacks on a Dark Seal already. And Akira, who, speaking of Akira, who, this is not the place you want to be. He's going to get jumped on, trying to do some damage, but flash on over the wall. Thank goodness.
It's a mid lane fight.
As a mid lane fight breaking out as well, too. Alcanto's getting quite low. One-eyed owl. Oh, you got to back out. Wait a minute. Careful, 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 careful. He is going to make it out, but that does allow GLV to get some damage in on that Dragon. Akira, who's trying to get on out. This cask is there. Bumps the Vladimir back in. He's going to get a little bit of extra healing with his Q, but no kills picked up across this map. Just this Dragon. And Paige, beautiful call-outs there for helping me out on the camera work. That was wonderful.
I got you there. Homie. I know how hard it is to be a one-man army, and directed camera doesn't like you and like you necessarily, but Mundo's having a good time with the Gragas here.
Oh, look at him go right now. Gragas taking a bunch of damage. He does not have the cast. Lockdown from this Seraphine is not going to be enough. Hodem. Holy crap is what it's true. Is the flash. The axe comes through. The stun from Branzia as well too. This is a 2 meatball job, as both Branzia and Hodem are just whapping away at this poor Seraphine. This is insane.
One meatball, two meatball, and when Vlad's online, he's gonna be screaming three meatballs.
That's so true.
And I just want to say that look at how far ahead they have the double dragon going for Rift Herald right now onto the Mundo. And this is the exact reverse what was happening last game, is that the Mundo's just taking over, getting free dragons after free dragons, and Axum's never having a good time ever, as you can see.
I want to give a big shout out to Brand Z this series. He has been so in the face of MAAD City every single game. Doesn't matter what champion he's playing, but this guy does not care one bit what champion he's on. Like, I've never seen this aggressive of a Taric, but he's looking to set up a tower dive here with a Hodem, with the Vladimir as well, too. That will be the Taric ulti coming down. They're just going to lock down Axum. 3 meatballs. Oh, my goodness. GLV have drafted themselves the Mega Meatball comp, and there's no stomping them right now.
The Mega Meatball comp is here to stay as he's cracking down the first turret on for the red side here. There's a lot of pressure actually going on to the Senna here, and I'm glad that Toast learned his lesson from the first game and just letting this go and making sure his life is more valuable than CS ever going to be, especially that there's a lot of pressure onto the top side of the map. There's eventually going to be a rotation over to go help the Seraphine, especially Toast, or Taric is already back down bot. Mundo is waddling his way down to put some medical attention onto that Senna and just starting a nice and healthy clear.
This has been so good for GLV, and I just realized we're only at 15 minutes. I feel like there's been so much happening in this game so far, but you can see the scoreboard right now. GLV are up 2 and a bit K gold, up 2 to 9 kills. They have a tower, but so does MAAD City. But it's the double dragons that they have already at this point. And with another on the map in a minute 40, I'm sure they're going to be gunning for that to get themselves to that soul point. Get that Cloud Drake, which means ults on ults on ults on ults on ults, especially with someone with like a Taric who has really, really long cooldown. That will be extremely helpful for them. As you can see, they are making use of this Taric ult, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind it being up a little bit more frequently.
And I agree, by the way, especially you said it's a Cloud Dragon, right?
Yes.
So it's Cloud Dragon. Look at how many ults or how many champions on the side of GLV where they love Cloud of Soul. Look at Akira pressing R, getting that 20% move speed, with the Mundo running on down with that extra 20% move speed. With the Taric pressing the ultimate, getting that 20% move speed. And it's just going to be all a disaster if they're able to get this. And I'm going to say, I'm going to call it out here. Maybe I'm going to give a little bit of a caster curse here, and maybe that's something that I want. I'm interested. I'm just going to say I think GLV already have this game. Just how strong their scaling comp is, and just the dragons they've already gotten, what they've gotten already. I'm just going to say it that...
Might have been a little caster curse, because Akira's getting jumped on right now. The cast comes through. Again, an overshot comes through, but the bump, the hook, the ignite, and the flay back into the box means Nutty Bars is going to be handed on over a kill. So really well played to get that last bump, even though the cask was a little long, and this will allow MAAD City to push in on this top tier 2 for a little bit.
The top 2 tier is not bad. They are responding with a bottom tier 1 here and a Cloud Dragon for Cloud Soul. But do they get it here? Yeah, they have to, right?
I think so. This top tower, you know, with the Felios, yeah, it will go down. The Lantern is there to get him. What are you doing, Nutty Bars? You were out. You had the turret. You had the Lantern. What am I talking about? Oh,
he had the turret too.
My goodness. Yes, he did technically have the turret, but why would you risk it and go back in there? You had a free Lantern out. Take what you can get. Don't overgreen. And we saw him almost pay for with his life there, but he's now down without a flash and without a heal. As Axum gonna get caught by the shockwave, gonna eat the orange to heal back up. Cannon Barrage comes on down to One-Eyed Owl. Does not matter. Orianna doing a ton of damage, and with the fully stacked Dank Seal at this point, this is looking so good for GLV. Oh my god.
To be honest with you, I think that probably is one of the plays that he could have done better with. I'm sorry. Let me redo that. I was reading something while trying to cast, and it did not work. I think going for that is not bad, especially that you can see how much damage that Achilles was actually able to put down, and if Thresh was actually ready for the play and that was communicated a little bit more, I actually truly think they could have actually killed that Taric before the Taric ulti actually went down. But nevertheless, he almost played for this wife as well, and
Look at this.
takes 80% of the base shape.
Looks like MAAD City were about to do something, but Nutty Bars get chunked down quite low, so they're not able to pull anything off. But look aside, Hodum jumped on the Taric stun with the Mundo. He's luckily going to have that Lantern to get him on out, but big Seraphine ult not going to be able to land on anybody here as GLV. Oh, the flash, the barley bump, the Cascon in, Toast with the respawn flash back, and oh my god, GLV with the damage. Look at Hodum, he gets a shield from his mid laner. This is insane. GLV are just shredding apart MAAD City, and they have no answer. Another Taric stun on Axum. In comes Toast. Look at the damage, but Akira, who is in the back line to shred everybody apart. Nobody drops on the side of MAAD.
0.
And it's an ace.
5-4-0. Holy moly. This game is doomed, man. Oh my god. All I'm going to say, that was really well played by Blade there. Akira onto the backside, going as hand as he possibly could, and not even pressured, to say to the least, as he's picking up a nice little blue buff for himself. But I'm just gonna say that fight was absolutely phenomenal by Glaive. They did this thing. They did that as well as they possibly could, and was really putting on a performance.
I mean, I think this one's kind of slipped their mind. Look at some of the lines of these guys. 6-0-5 on Mundo, 7-1-3 on the Orianna, Hodum, and One-Eyed Owl. For some reason, I've been watching One-Eyed Owl pick up kills here and there, but it hasn't registered to me because he now has 7 kills at 20 minutes. That is insane.
It's incredible, and especially with the updated Cosmic Drive, where if you have at least 160 AP, you gain 20 more ability haste and 30 move speed.
Okay, Axum again caught out by the Orianna. Right around this bot, the same brush. This is a couple moments here tonight where we've seen this. Like, is this a replay? Is this the Matrix that we're living through right now?
Maybe we'll put this on X-Files. It might get popular.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, but that is so unfortunate. Axum here having a rough time on his gangplank because here looking to trade on in. Protobelt to go on in. The Hemoplague comes down as well too, but that's going to be a big charm coming through. Dodged by the pool. However, GLV just going to go ahead and start this Baron on up.
I think it's starting with this Baron fight. I really think they have enough like shred at this point. Even though Toast is, I guess his attacks looks low, he has a lot of shred coming through that Kraken Slayer with that Winsus. But it looks like this is going to be a major game fight.
Oh boy, Taric gonna be popping the ult. The box comes down to try and slow these members down, but Ares will be locked down by the Senna and picked off by Akira, who and the rest of GLV just chasing MAAD City down. Javi's gonna go golden, but there is nowhere to go in this. Akira finds himself a second, maybe going for more as he goes on over the wall. Beautiful shockwave there from One-Eyed Owls. Hodum goes not golden. He's going legendary. He's getting a ton of kills, and that's another ace here for GLV. Absolutely amazing stuff from Glaive tonight.
Definitely an absolute slaughterhouse coming in from Glaive Royal here, really showing their talents, and I definitely think this game is absolutely over. And it's just super strong. You can see it in solo queue. I think it can be competitively punished with a couple of picks off to the side, but it seems like these guys are absolutely taking it to a next level.
Oh boy, shockwave down onto Javi, and now GLV, they were able to pick up that inhibitor turret, but we're just going to play it safe, back on off. However, in that meantime, while everybody's pushing on the base, GLV just helped themselves to that Cloud Soul, and this is looking pretty grim. 3 to 21 kills, 7 to 3 towers. Like, this is just an absolute stomping by GLV right now.
Definitely an absolute madhouse coming into this game here. And they're, at this point, I think Baron is just theirs. It's very GLV favored, as you can see from the last team fight. I do want to say that Seraphine wasn't there for the initial push into the Baron coming from MAAD, but at this point, I think they're just so far ahead. Being 10-1 onto the Orianna there is just so strong.
Oh, the Lantern just enough to get him out, but I don't know if this is going to stop GLV. They are an absolute powerhouse. The 5 of them coming through as they are going to look to start up this Baron, but MAAD said he need to respond, but if a big fight breaks out right now, this could decide it if MAAD City is picked off. So let's...
Kira is not here, by the way.
Oh boy. He's coming back. He's coming back around. He's actually might be able to find something. Javi goes in quite deep on this one, and he's not going to be able to find it. Look at Akira Hu on the back line of this one. Big Senna ult coming through, but as well, the Taric is there to keep everybody alive. Double kill for Ahodum, and there's no one left except for Axum, and he is just cut off at this point. GLV not going to be able to do anything here as, sorry, not going to be able to do anything as they take the FF and GLV take the win here. Wow.
An absolute banger. And to be honest, at that point, the game was over as well. They would have just pushed down into the mid lane there and ended the game whilst they were stuck at 35-second timers at that point. Looking at the damage chart, all I'm going to say is if you give that little damage chart and you represent that as your hands, you can kind of see the resemblance there as they're probably giving each other the middle finger.
I unfortunately cannot see the damage charts on my end here, but this is honestly out of GLV tonight. Just incredible stuff. They look like a whole different team that we saw in week 2. I know that Akira had played in the league before, and it was, a little disappointing in week 2 not to see him do the crazy stuff that we're used to, but tonight was the return to that. We got to see Akira do some crazy stuff for us too, but not to take away from any of these other members of GLV. Everybody played amazing. Ahodum was everywhere on the map, making life absolute hell. He was stealing camps from Javi throughout this entire series. One Eyed Owl just had an amazing game on Orianna. Finished out with at least 7 kills last I checked before the stats crapped out on me. But this bot lane, Toast and Branz were so on point. They were a ton of fun to watch. Just the back and forth between them. But Branz being such a solid support and always being there for Toast no matter the situation. That's a good support. That is an amazing stuff, and I'm loving the synergy I'm seeing between GLV's bot lane.
And I don't want to put anything off to the MAAD as well, is because MAAD has been putting such a performance on these streams and having such a fun game against these other teams. They both provided great content and fantastic work this match, and I am happy to say I casted this game.
Yeah. We finally got our 3-game series there, Paige, but a hell of a series it was. We got our player of the game poll up right now. We are going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll announce our player of the game. I'll do a couple of closing announcements before we end out the LTS week 5. But Paige, any last remarks or comments about these teams here tonight?
Nothing else for me, boss. Everybody did fantastic in their own way. There was some really hyphy moments in game 1, game 2, and game 3. This series will be known as the fascinations of the chickens. All I'm gonna say, as there was a lot of fighting around the Raptor blue side Raptor area.
Well, I still don't understand why the fascination for blue side Raptors was such a thing this game, but entertaining for us nonetheless to watch that one.
Definitely. And I appreciate you for letting cast.
Of course, Paige, been a pleasure, buddy. Thank you for giving us that breakdown, giving us those that analysis on what was going down, because this was a great series. Great series to watch. But with that, guys, we are going to hop to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be announcing our player of the game, and we'll just do a quick announcement on the podcast for tonight. That will still be after tonight's stream, but again, little delayed. But we will be back soon. Make sure to vote for your player of the game, and we will see you back on the analyst desk. volume down so we can announce our player of the game, which is One-Eyed Owl on that Orianna, going 11, 1, and not 9. It was 8, but still, nonetheless, Orianna was massive this game, and so was the rest of GLV. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight to join me and St. Page for an amazing series, and we appreciate all your support. Just keep an eye out on this. We are still just looking out for when we are going to start this podcast. But just keep an eye out on announcements. There might be a quick change up here, guys. Very sorry for the last minute changes, but keep an eye out. We will make an announcement. There will be a podcast this week, but keep an eye out there. If you don't see us go live in the next 15 minutes, then we're shifting it till tomorrow. But right now, we will let you know as soon as possible. Okay, I know it is a bit of a late start, so we might just be shifting it till tomorrow. We're gonna go on break for a quick second now, just to end off the stream. But if you see me pop on back, I will announce something if we are changing things up. So guys, thank you once again for tuning in and watching and supporting the stream. Love all your faces. Have a wonderful time. Gurf signing out. GG's to both our team. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the LAS Valorant at 3 o'clock p.m. EST. But we will see you next time. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Take care. Gurf out. Peace. Bye.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. Let's be free.
Okay, Gareth is back for 2 seconds. Just a quick announcement, guys, about Let's Talk Legends. We have discussed, and we are going to be just shifting Let's Talk Legends to Saturdays at 10:30 p.m. EST. Thank you for your understanding, and thank you to everybody involved for their flexibility. Really appreciate you all. Mwah. It's a bit of a late one, so we will just stick to Saturdays from now on, where we know there won't be the possibility of a league overextending that time. So 10:30 Saturday, 10:30 p.m. EST Saturdays from now on. Let's Talk Legends. Again, thank you everybody for understanding. We are now peacing out. I know. It'll be next time, but tomorrow. That means tomorrow. Tomorrow, make sure to tune back in for Let's Talk Legends to see the top 3 players of each position from each league. We got big lists ready to go. So guys, again, love you all. Thank you for being understanding. Mwah. Last minute Gurf message out. Have a wonderful night, guys. Peace.